That was very loud. Holy crap, that was loud. That's too small. That's just right. And up there. Should be good. And I heard myself, I see myself, so hello people of the internet. It is I, Soul Rack Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order. Gonna be doing some more interludes today. Before we do that though, just real quick, go through the various bits of news. Because there is 4 bits of news so far. So the first bit of news is the Interlude Campaign 11 pickup summon that is daily changing. So, in celebration of the campaign, the various servants are going to be on rotation. And by various, I mean 4, or rather 2 servants are on rotation. Napoleon and Anastasia are on rotation here, occasionally on at the same time, but Prince of Lanling and Xin Liangyu is also always going to be on right up. But that's just to associate with the Interlude Campaign Part 11, which dropped yesterday, actually. Various new interludes for the following servants: Napoleon, Ivan the Terrible, Anastasia, Prince of Lanling, Archer of Inferno, aka Tomoe Gozen, Xin Liangyu, and the Valkyries. Of them all, I'm pretty sure I can only do the Valkyries, and I don't think I've got Tomoe leveled up. Napoleon's looks to be an NP strengthening one. Ivan's is also an NP strengthening one. Anastasia's just a quartz one, as is Lan Ling. Tomoe is a Noble Phantasm strengthening. Xin Liangyu is a quartz, and the Valkyries are quartz. So that is that. And then that's not the same thing I clicked, although all AP costs are halved for the duration of the campaign as far as interludes go, so we should be getting a fair few of them done today. Next is an ongoing campaign. Theatrical anime. I'm swearing I'm not meaning to press the same thing 3 times in a row. Theatrical anime, Fate Grand Order, the movie Divine Realm of the Round Table, Camelot Watering, Argot Lamb, Blu-ray commemorative campaign. Mouthful. So this is just the Blu-ray release campaign for Argot Lamb. Good freaking gracious, that's gonna be pricey. Holy cow, $70. Comes with a Blu-ray and a CD. Bonus materials is a soundtrack, art book, special booklet, a rigged boss, and the bonus materials are subject to change. You can go to the official site to get more details. It's going to be a weekly login bonus with a different CE every day, or rather every week, upon your first login. This week is a leisurely walk, next week is a prayer to the night sky, the following is a moment of amusement, and the final is a light lunch. All of them are simple master experience game CEs. And then there is the Bedivere Spirit Dress Key added to the shop for the Silver Butler outfit. And he has a new Noble Phantasm when it's released. And Bedivere's battle sprites and NP are updated, as are Arash's. I actually have already seen Arash's because, you know, when it's the dead weeks, you do the farming. Double friend points rewarded for late servants. And view the first scene of the movie in-game through unauthorized recording and publishing of images, audio, or video from the theatrical anime is forbidden. You may incur legal consequences by reposting or sharing the video on video sites. Audio from certain scenes within the video may be played back at loud volume depending on your device settings. Please check your device volume settings. So in other words, we can't do that. I was gonna say we could possibly watch that. Hang on, I'm gonna just real quickly here. I was gonna say, oh, you know what? Looks like we got something else we can do as well when I got to this screen with that. But, it turns out doing that is probably gonna get me sued, so looks like we're not gonna be watching the first scene from the movie. Because I honestly didn't know what that was. I thought it was just like another quest that could be done. But no, it's the first movie scene, which I don't want to be sued, so we're not gonna be watching that. Even if the one is going to annoy me. And then from the Chaldea PR department, Anime NYC 2021, there will be an exhibit going on. Not going to be able to take part in this. There will be a panel, it looks like, on the very last day. So that is something to look forward to. But yeah. So that is all the news. Again, we can't really click on that without incurring legal penalties. So let's just claim our various things here. Fragments upon fragments upon fragments. and then the actual login stuff. So lots of dust. That's good dust. Friend points, Apollo Quartz, login, Winter Campaign, login, Winter Campaign, login, and Early Winter Campaign, the CE, Pharaoh's Great Winter Celebration, featuring Ozzy, Cleo, Alexander, Nito, and Mashu. In order to expand the Pharaoh's authority, Ozymandias and company hold a festival to celebrate the early arrival of winter. The throne of Ramseum Tenchyrus appears. And a leisurely walk CE, featuring Betty and Artoria. Because it is Artoria, not Altria. This one is, he listens to the dancing footsteps coming from the street. Even as his own steps are slower than the speed of the hands of the clock, he is undeterred. Squinting as he gazes at the clouds that float by, he chases the scent of the wind. He's going to cherish this brief moment for the time being. Interesting. And yeah, that is all of those. All the main record ones are just interludes, so... What? That's definitely bigger than it normally is. Almost like you could scroll or something. I don't know, that's a little weird. Just deny these randos, and real quickly stop by the Mana Prism shop, where we will go ahead and not purchase, because I'm short on Mana Prisms. I was not expecting to be short on Mana Prisms. So it looks like Bedivere's dress outfit thing is going to have to wait for a little bit. Who's currently on rotation for here? Out of curiosity, is it Napoleon? It is Napoleon. I kind of want to... I am. Because why not? I wanted to get Napoleon, so, it's working out any, luck that I might or might not have. So let's just really quickly claim 5 extra quartz. And go to the summon, and we're going to throw an 11 spin at Napoleon here. I might need tickets as well, I'm not sure on that. But yeah, just a real quick 11 spin, just to see if he chooses to come home. Totally not also scratching that gotcha itch that I might have. Totally not scratching an itch or anything. It's not like gotcha is life or anything. Oh, stretch. Servant, Rider, Bushi, Waka, Maru. CE, and there's probably going to be our 5 or our 4 higher. I feel like this is probably going to be a mineral. Excuse me. Something in my intuition just is screaming at me that this is a mineral here. Much as I would like to get Napoleon, I don't think it's going to happen in this. Sad, but it is what it is. Like I said, I might roll some tickets. Just for giggles. I mean, I am pretty much saving up at this point. Yeah, we are kind of in save mode, aren't we? We are. So, but why shouldn't I just, spend my tickets? It's not like I'm not going to get more or anything. I should totally scratch that gotcha itch a little bit more and just put some tickets in. Just the standard 11. It won't hurt. It couldn't hurt. There's nothing wrong with satisfying my curiosity. After all, absolutely nothing wrong with doing such things. Nothing. Hey, it's not a mineral. Would you look at that? Not the greatest roll still, but, not a mineral counts for something, I'm sure. Thumbs. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's the last one, if I've been keeping count correctly, which I kind of got distracted there, so I'm not 1000% sure. I was keeping my count correctly. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just burn 11 tickets. Why not? Like I said, it's not gonna hurt to do so. Bygone dream. I definitely need to start clearing out the CEs again, because I know that they are starting to build up. Ooh! La Folia. The creepy clown girl CE. Was not expecting that. The wind was broken, she lost her beloved child, and so lost her sanity, leaving her stuck in a mad contradiction that she only allowed to eat the things she truly loved. Yet until the very end, even when she was on the brink of starvation, reduced to nothingness, and her life's light about to be extinguished. Truly, the clown must not have had the strength to maintain her morality, yet she continued to resist being engulfed by her own darkness. Only the blood-soaked warrior saw the brilliance of the soul of the woman who vanished unnoticed. I didn't even notice she had a child in her arms. That's still kind of creepy. Still a very, very creepy CE. Yeah, if it's not a servant, I'm just gonna skip to my loo. Servant. And archer. No sparks. Keep go. No sparks. Come on. Give me some luck, or no luck, actually. Either or. Bodes well, I suppose, in its own weird way. My logic doesn't always make sense, but when it does, it works. Garage. And we're closing in on the bonus summon. And the next one's gonna be a bonus. Bonus. First is a servant. A cat, a lancer. A coup. Aku! Another servant. Ryder, and Alexander. Alright. So, no such luck in getting Napoleon there. It was to be expected, unfortunately. Good lord, I have a lot of Lancer Embers. Where did all these come from? I honestly don't remember where I got all these Lancer Embers from. And Saber. Where did all those come from? I don't know. I mean, they're there, so, you know, I guess it's something. Anyways, with that out of the way, I guess now is the time to get to those interludes. They're not gonna do themselves, after all. That's interesting. That it's just saying, like, pick up. Well, let's see here. So, as usual, I don't want to overstate Apple usage, so we should probably calculate things out. So, I mean, this alone is just 70 AP, and then that would make it 85. Enkidu is another 30 for 115. Hey, Velvet, welcome to the stream. Happy things. And Jaguar here would be 139. So we could literally get 6 interludes done here, potentially. I'm very tempted to do that. You know what? I'm so tempted to do that I'm going to just do that. Let's get these interludes done in order. Why not? You know? Starts off with the Valkyries, who I very much do like. I will do Enkidu's. Enkidu's is in this lineup here. You know, as long as none of these first 4 get interludes that follow their current interludes that take a place above Enkidu, Enkidu's will be done. I promise you that, Velvet. But hobby things. Start immediately before the battle begins. Well, the Valkyries are going to be used anyways, so you know. Interlude. Dai Wakur. I don't know how to pronounce that U. I don't suppose you know how to pronounce that U, do you, Velvet? Oh, right. Right, I do remember reading about this bit of lore. I was about to say that sounded like a computer, and then seeing this line, that reminds me. That reminds me of the lore, a bit of lore of the Valkyries. The Valkyries, like dating sim games or something like that. Or is it just video games in general? I can't remember which. But I do remember something about dating sims with the Valkyries. I think you have to go with want to come back to my place. Man, that's totally the right move. Sure, we could talk a lot if they were willing to come back to my place, but I don't know if I'm comfortable with proposing that myself. Why not? They say love is war, and in war, whoever makes the first move has a clear path to victory. Yep, you can't have victory without battle first. True, but then again, this isn't actually war. This is a video game meant to stimulate dating. I remember. It was the U with, like, 2 dots above it. So I'm not sure the usual rules of warfare are necessarily the way to go in this case. Yeah, you know what? Do what you feel comfortable with, Ortland. Do what you feel comfortable with. Ortland is definitely my favorite of the Valkyries. Just saying. What do you think, Tomoe? Oh, this tea is so good. Did you say something? I see. Branching dialogue. Personally, I believe choosing whichever option sounds best to you is the way to go. But I have also heard from Lord Juliang that characters in the games like these do tend to have distinct preferences. How? I was about to say, how the hell does Waver know what dating sim games are like? I mean, I know he's a video game player, but I wouldn't see... I can't... Can you honestly see Waver playing a dating sim? Because I can't. Mainly because Rhines would brutally murder him / tease him. Well, if it's a Japanese game we're talking about, they tend to cover all the bases pretty well. What's that? A dating sim? Those aren't the kind of games I usually play, but if you want my advice, I'd say be sure to get a beat on your target character's likes and dislikes. Honestly, it really isn't much different from engaging in battle. If the enemy has a certain inclination, all you have to do is focus on it and plan accordingly. As Sun Tzu once said, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you will never be defeated in 100 battles. Does that help? You're just feeding the fan... You're fanning the flames of the love is war trope here, Tomoe. Fair. Wait, you can in 2 circumstances. What are those circumstances? Know your enemy, know yourself, and you will never be defeated in 100 battles. No wonder he was such a revered tactician. He may not quite be the kind of brave warrior we're always keeping an eye out for, but he sure was a smart guy. Know your enemy and know yourself. All that aside, I never expect to have an opportunity to play with you all in the recreation room in such a manner. Wait a second, this is the frickin' rec room? Holy cow, it's a very, very cozy rec room. Very clearly, you know, the rec room got an upgrade between this and Parvati's interlude. Very, very clearly, the rec room underwent some massive upgrading. I gotta say, I like it looking like this better. Iskander made him fair. Iskander would indeed pressure. You know, Waver is definitely the kind of guy to just be dedicated. Even if he makes a mistake, he's gonna follow through the mistake as best as he can. So yeah, I guess you do make some valid points. You do indeed. Make some valid points there. This is wonderful. There are a number of 4-player games I've been wanting to try that would be perfect to share with my 3 new gamer friends. Gamer friends, yes. The Valkyries join the gamer ranks. Do it. Come to the gamer side. There is much to see and much to enjoy. Oh, did I misunderstand? No, I think you can call us your gamer friends, no problem. I mean, we do hang out here all the time these days. You've been a huge help to us ever since we were summoned. Oh, please help yourself to the snacks we brought. Thank you, they look delicious. Oh, where are my manners? I haven't even made you tea. Oh no, you don't have to go to any trouble for us. Not at all. It's the least I can do. Wait here, right here. I'll be back in no time. And to be fair, there are some, dating... I wouldn't say dating games. There are some video games, just in general, that have very misleading titles, I suppose. In fact, misleading titles almost seems to be more of a common thing nowadays, doesn't it? You know? I'm looking at my video game collection, and given the fact that I tend to just go with RPGs, I don't really have any such games that have misleading titles, but I can imagine that they're a common thing nowadays. Gamer friends, huh? I hadn't realized it before, but I suppose that is what we are now, isn't it? Well, hey, considering how much we come here nowadays, it's bound to happen. I suppose you're right. Of course she is, Thrude. You know, I hadn't given much thought until now. But we really have become accustomed to all three of us materializing at once, haven't we? I know we do our best to keep his magical energy consumption to a minimum, but there's no way we could all actually fight together like this, is there? We used to take turns being summoned, but at the moment, Thrude is the only one materialized in an official capacity. Incorrect, Ortland. You are the one I would officially have materialized. For sure, it would be Ortland, you know? And even though we are always reintegrate into one heroic spirit origin whenever we're fighting for Kala's on Master's behalf, having all three of us materialize the rest of the time has got to be, well... Yeah, it definitely takes a toll on Master. I've already talked to the technical advisor about this, but... I remember she said our simultaneous materialization wasn't having any noticeable effects on Master's vitals. And that this sort of thing isn't all that unusual in Chaldea, so it wasn't a big deal. True. Really, when you get right down to it, we still don't even know why we all want to be materialized simultaneously. Strategically speaking, we know it's a waste of resources, and yet, for some reason, we all just naturally end up materializing together. It's because you're becoming individuals. Break free from the shackles that Odin placed upon you. No longer be Odin's. You know, actually, given that Odin created the Valkyries, it really... It does bring into question what was in Odin's mindset when he created the Valkyries, you know? Not that I'm complaining, mind you, but, I guess I gotta just talk to Caster Q and, you know, give him a pat on the back, I'll say. Give Caster Q a good pat on the back, you know? Because there is all the rumors that he's Odin or whatever, you know? So... Just give Cascu a good old pat on the back and tell him to pass it along to Odin or something. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine. I also tried talking to our sister in hopes that she could help us get to the bottom of this mystery, as she knows even more about being a Valkyrie than we do, but... That's a word. Utilitarianism may have its uses, but it's far from all there is to life. That is just as true for Herc and divine spirits as it is for humans. Even our transient bodies are merely made of ether instead of flesh and bone. We still have things that make our fleeting existence worthwhile. Pride, honor, fate, love. We may not always know where they are, and we may sometimes stumble on the way of finding them, but they still give our lives meaning all the same. And since they surely are all the same for you as it is for anyone else, I don't think there's anything mysterious about your situation at all. And, you know, Hildur, honestly, I don't know why Ortland, you know, is, my primary to go. Hildur is definitely bubbly and energetic, and I could see Hildur as well, but I don't know. Ortland, there's just something about her that draws the eye. Living is great. She's not wrong. But... okay. Thrude only heard love. All of them only caught love. Oh boy. This is gonna lead to something, isn't it? Gosh, oh gosh. You think we're in love? You think we can love? Don't be ridiculous, sister. You know as well as we do that we're just automated machines the Allfather made. Right? And Orlin is just shocked. It's a silence. Oh, that's adorable. Valkyrie, what the heck is a life? Orlin's overeating. Aw. I don't know. Maybe it's Ortland's more innocent nature. That might be what it is. It might be Ortland's more innocent nature. I don't know. Ortland's overheating. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Ortland's just brain melting. Thrude is air does not compute. And Hildur is just like spastically trying to mash and arrest. I mean, I guess that she does sort of have that similar air, doesn't she? Thrude? Oh, this takes me back. You three remind me of myself when I was younger. Don't forget Melt. Melt is definitely in there as well. Also, fingers crossed that this year we get Santa Arash, you know? Santa Arash could definitely happen. Definitely happen. Just, you know, Karna needs to... He's the hero of charity, so maybe he'll see, you know, Areshkigul has not been in the spotlight for such a long time. I will be a charitable hero and gift her the spotlight, you know? That's totally what's gonna happen. I can totally see that being the case. True, Malta is very different. They all have main heroine power. The ones that are in the tops, they all have main heroine prowess. Sister. After that, we tried talking to all sorts of other servants in an effort to learn just what love truly is. Oh gosh. Who did they ask for love advice? Oh god, no, not those two. Why on earth would they think those two are good at love advice? Oh god. Oh god, not her. She's even worse. I have no idea. How did... Sumanai. Sumanai is another odd choice. I really wish I could have time to give my thoughts on these. Okay, now I have my time to give thoughts on these. You know, like, is they're in the log. So, so yes, Hans and Shakespeare, they're probably among the best of that grouping. Let's be completely honest, because even if they wrote tragic love, they have some semblance of, you know, what love is. Let's be honest, those two, of the host of them that they asked, are probably the best case candidates. Q, Hime is a straight no. That was a very poor choice. Salome, I think it was. Again, a very poor choice. You know, the fact that they asked two yanderes for love advice is very concerning. But then they asked Sumanai, who I honestly don't really know where he would get... Why would they ask Sumanai? Why would they ask Siegfried for love advice? I don't get that one. I really don't get that one. But yes, do not be ahead to your love. That is very much a bad thing. Unless they're a Doulahan, in which case, you know, it's okay. Doulahans are fine. Because they kind of don't have a... Their head is already detachable, you know. Fair point. Fair point. They could have mistaken him for Sigurd. They do have... I'm pretty sure Sigurd and Siegfried pretty much have the same root myth or something like that. Or at least they're like different versions of the same person, rather. But I mean, no offense to Sumanai, but Sigurd also has the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You know, that is Bryn. It just works so well. Sigurd, Bryn, Kaiba, the Blue Eyes. It's like it was meant to be, you know? I wonder if Nasu had that planned. I'm kind of curious if Nasu had that planned now. I wouldn't put it past him. None of their answers really click for us. And that brings us to now. Dating involves romance, so if these games simulate it, I think we should be able to use them to learn about love. Oh, Valkyries. Oh, Valkyries. Well, okay, so... I can't fully, you know, chastise them, because dating sims, good dating sims, at least, do carry some decent advice, you know? They do have some decent advice that can be gained from them, but The thing is, everybody's different, and people are complex. What works for one person might not work for the other, etc., etc. I think so too. Man, humans come up with the most interesting ideas sometimes, don't they? Don't you agree, Thrud? See, no need for me to give voice to my opinion, seeing as we synchronize our thought patterns at regular intervals. I mean, that's kind of why... See, Thrud is a little bit too still stuck in the old Valkyrie ways. You know, that's kind of why she's probably the lowest of them. I know, but still, At this point, we should go sleep in order to play this game as much as possible. Or, not that we sleep in the first place, of course. Oh, and for a penny and for a pound, we might all be thinking the same lines, but 3 heads are still better than 1. That's exactly what famous Eastern proverb says. And it's right, with all our wisdom pulled together, there is no conundrum we cannot overcome. Yeah. They're gonna get a bad route or something. Seems I was right to wait before offering them tea. I see, so that is why they're here. Tomoe would actually have some decent love advice, wouldn't she? I'm pretty sure Tomoe has her husband that she's ever faithful for. That's why she is not in the waifu category. Tomoe is in the sister category. Sister category. Finish your sentences, please me. So yeah, Tomoe is definitely in the big sis category, so yeah. She would have advice, wouldn't she? So that's the story. I'm happy to have a new gamer friends, no matter what the reasons may be, of course. But the way they are spending almost every moment of every day staring at a screen, well... I mean, every moment of every day, I suppose I can see the issues there. I can help but worry about them. It was very difficult for me to come to you about this, Master, but I'm afraid I didn't know what else to do. I'm glad you told me this. You're a good big sis. Of course. Beautiful, I see the spark of true friendship in your concern for your peers. Sigurd! For after all, what is friendship without regard for a fellow person's well-being? I know you. Forgive the intrusion, Tomoe goes in, Master, but I couldn't help but overhear your discussion. Allow me to handle this, for you see... Shing! I have an excellent idea. Oh no. Sigurd, what is your idea? I'm very cautiously nervous about this. Are you alright, Master? I can handle a trek across a snowy mountain like this just fine since I'm able to fly, but it must be much more difficult for you. Oh, we are very much used to walking. We trekked across America thrice, I think, at least. Oh no, I clicked the wrong dialogue. No! I meant to say I'm used to walking. Carolina Snow, even by my standards. This is supposed to be a recreation of Scandinavian Lost Belt, correct? While all these mountains and trees made up of ice and snow are certainly beautiful to look at, I can't help but find them a jarring sight. That aside, why do we come to the Scandinavian Lost Belt? If we only wish to have a stimulate combat for training purposes, we Valkyries could do just as easily in our own mind space. Of course, if you wish to have us practice coordinating with you, then I can see the value in training like this. But still, it seems wasteful to use your precious magical energy resources on an, one-on-one session. It's really 1-on-3, but I get what you're saying. But, so they also have a mind palace as well. Interesting. I wish I could have a mind palace. That just sounds so awesome. I'm sorry, Master. Considering how my sisters and I are forcing you to let us all materialize simultaneously, even if only during downtime, I have no right to say that. Barely a blip in the radar to compare to some. Thank you, Master. The one just picked up. Sigurd? Since when do you care about the well-being of a measly human? Now you're just embarrassing yourself, Puffbit. Oh, it's Surtur. That aside, you sure do talk a lot for a damn doll, don't you? Tell me, Valkyrie, just how far are you and your sisters going to fall over a damn human? It can't be Surtur. No, you aren't the Fire King of Giants. You're Sigurd, the man's sister Hildlock, but... I know I have no records of this lost belt, yet every circuit in my body is telling me that when his eyes glow red, Sigurd is a threat to the very planet itself. Your eternally burning hellfire would consume all of reality if left unchecked. Why are you here of all places? You ask me why, puppet. Why you say...
This is exactly the question I have for you, Valkyrie. Why do you mimic your predecessor and degrade yourself by saving a human? What could you have possibly gained by doing so? Exactly, the answer is nothing. The only thing you obsolete automata are good for is deceiving brave warriors who died nobly in battle and taking their souls with you to Valhalla. No more, I will destroy you and stop you from embarrassing yourselves any longer. Master, I don't know when or how, but we've been surrounded by giants. It's still unclear who this man is or what he wants, but it doesn't seem that peaceful negotiation is no longer an option. Keep our cool, calm, and collected, and we'll be fine. Understood. Initializing combat routines, preparing to eliminate all possible enemy targets. Oh, great Allfather, lend me your strength. Alright. So, Valkyries are up. Oh! Well. So, Final Ascension is good, because it has all three of them. And I'm just making sure. Command cards are good. Icon is good. Status icon is good. Character skin is good. Okay. Everything should and is indicating Ortland here. So let's see Ortland here. Show me Ortland. By the way, Velvet, I forgot to ask, but what are your thoughts on the new servants in JP-verse? Good gracious. Okay, thank God. I was about to say, how are we meant to take on Sigurd if we're Lancers? But, we got class affinity change. So, increased attack, 3 guts, and a advantage against the sabers. Okay. Debuff immune, damage cut, 3 turns. Save that for... excuse me, NP, and then otherwise, QAQ. That's not a lot of damage. That really is not a lot of damage. Keep up this routine, though. There's the crits. Just need to get an NP here. That's a crit. Owie. Thank you for not critting. Do that evasion heal. Good. And this should be NP generated. Still love how she's only... okay, I was about to say only critting on the arts, but then she puts on the crits. So, you know, it's all good. Liquid Iron Alarm. That sounds metal as hell. Alright. Primordial Rune. Overcharge. And crit strength. Go, Valk, go. Crit. Ooh, good crit. Oh, I didn't even realize that there was more. That's my bad. Kill this one so that we take the evasion on the end here. Good. That crit hurts, but we're still alive. Still alive, still alive. And this should be game for Sigurd. Surtur. My bad. It's Surtur. There we go. That's a big thing done. It's all hill from here. Just more Moosefills. We'll end up taking a little bit of damage here, but you know, that's fine. Completely and totally fine. You know, when they don't attack, that is probably the best time. When they don't attack, because it means I get to live longer. And proc less guts. Really, it doesn't matter what our attack order is. Unless we're very, extremely lucky, I do think that they will knock us through our first guts layer here. Yep, first guts layer is defeated. Sadness. Good gracious, it's a full heal guts. Talk about OP. And very much not needed. Well done, Valkyries. My bad, Portland. Well done, Portland. There we go, and that's another interlude done. And lots of giant rings. I will gladly take those. Ah. Well, well. Not bad spearmanship for a Valkyrie. You lost your way. Yes, that's right, we are lost. Before we would have just diagnosed ourselves as broken and asked the Allfather for repairs. But now we know Sister Brynhild. Both the Allfather and Sister herself said that she was broken. But we hesitate to agree. Oh. After all, Sister Brynhild is so beautiful when she smiles like that. We just cannot believe that she only does so because she's broken. No, we don't want to believe it. That is why we remain lost. That is why we refuse to reject our own half-broken selves. Even if by remaining broken, we irrevocably set ourselves on a path toward oblivion. Even if learning about love brings us nothing but tragic fiery death, we will still... That's enough. Uh-oh. Sigurd's in trouble. Sister Brynhild. Yes, it's me. And me. Suddenly just takes off the mask and grows spikes on his arms. And more armor, just in general. My dear sister-in-law, Thrud. No. My dear sisters, Thrud, Hilda, and Ortland. I'm overjoyed to see your resolve for myself. And... Sigurd. Master, is this what I think it's about? I'm impressed you figured it out that quickly. Then, you, Sigurd, and Sister were so concerned about me, us spending so much of our time on dating sims, that you decided to trick us like this? I'm sorry, Thrud. I knew such a deception would be profoundly shocking for you. But you three have been so obsessed lately that I figured if you didn't get it out of your system like this, you'd never be able to take a step back and see the larger picture. As usual, Brynhild is being too modest. All she did was mod an agreement. Its responsibility for this deception lies entirely in myself. Or with me, rather. I know how to speak words. Sisters, I apologize for what I said to you behind my mask. Even if the goal in doing so was ultimately help you, I cannot deny that they were still terrible things to say. I won't ask for your forgiveness. I will only ask that you direct all your ire towards me. Beloved, Sigurd will be fine. Bryn's probably pierced him numerous times. Then this must mean we were acting in such a dreadful manner that we caused our own dear sister to worry about us. Sisters, sisters. Sisters, sisters. I trust the other two. You can hear me through Throod? I want to tell you all something very important. Something your sister once told me. Get lost. Huh? By which I mean, if there's some piece of knowledge that remains beyond your grasp or you're unable to find what it is you seek, then go ahead and stray away from the path you know to look for it. Go ahead and get lost in the proverbial woods. Okay, that's a lot nicer. You need not worry that you will lose your way forever, for Brynhild and I will always be there to stop you from going down the wrong path. So let yourself be lost. Let yourself agonize and search for solutions as much as you need. In doing so, you will all learn and grow. That's actually fairly profound. Grow? Don't be ridiculous, Sigurd. How can we ever grow when we are nothing more than transient ether? That is where you're mistaken, sister. As long as we exist in this world, regardless of what form that existence may take, we are still resolutely ourselves. At least, that's how I see it. Me too. Same here. Given that Quetz has changed from her initial conception to loving Lucha, you know, you can change as well. Thank you, Soul. I'm glad my sisters have you for their master. As am I, beloved. Indeed. Master, sister. Brynhild. Beloved, I don't think I'll be able to hold my spear back much longer. I see, then I'd better wrap this up quick. Thrude, Hilda, Ortland, I have an order for you on the Master's behalf. Yes, what is it? No more than 1 hour of gaming per day. No! Okay, no, I would... Stop, Sigurd, stop. I would never give such an order, you know. I would never give such an order. My order would be at least get 6 hours of sleep at night, have a half an hour break for each of your 3 meals, and at least another 2 hours a day socializing. Yeah. Totally. That would be my order. I'd never say no more than 1 hour. Nope. Never would I ever give such an order. That'd be... Whew. Begin Ortland's personal memory log. As for what happened next. Thanks in part to Tomoe Gozen's impassioned argument that 1 hour per day was too short. Thank you, Tomoe! We're permitted to play video games for up to 2 hours per day. No! More than 2! And today... Dating simulations are all well and good, however... As our experts, we must not neglect our feelings towards the battlefield either. Which is why today, I brought a different game for us to play. It's a true masterpiece. Even Lord Tajima have given it high praise, saying it was not bad. Instead, it has all manner of challenge modes built in. I think it'll be right up your alleys. What is this? It looks very Eastern. You can control this person with the katana. In this game, you go around fighting enemies as either samurai or a ninja. But they don't always have to fight them head-on. We always utilize stealth skills. Samurai, ninja? You're gonna get started. I suppose that doesn't sound too bad. Eastern warriors can probably hold their own just fine against the Vikings. Come on, let's try it. I call first life, then I'll go second. I mean, that's fine. I am the eldest after all, so I have no problem taking my turn last. Don't worry, it has multiplayer mode as well. Come on, let's all play together. So... I was gonna say, did she just give them, like, Sekiro or something, but, no, I really don't know what kind of game she just gave them. We're still stumbling as we try to find our way, but at least we had another enjoyable day. Aww. By the way, Master, I have no intention of ever letting you see this, but I thought I would try addressing you while by right anyway. So, Master, why do you think we became so obsessed with dating sims in the first place? Is it because we asked Sister Brynhild what love is? That is certainly the main reason. But admittedly, it's not the only one. You see, we also... On second thought, never mind. Okay, see you later then. Aww. Ortland. How sweet, Ortland. They're definitely a high B tier. Or high tier 2, rather, as that's how my rankings go. Alright, so next is Proto.
Arthur, with still in pursuit. Lots of guest servants. We'll just bring the one that's golden. Go over to the party node and switch in Proto Arthur. Proto Arthur. I must be blind. Where's Proto? Am I just... I'm blind. I'm very clearly... Oh, cannot use Arthur. Okay, I thought I was going mad there. If we can't use Arthur and it's archers, then... Gil. You wanna have some fun, Gil? This is... Actually, the golden is probably Arthur, now that I'm thinking about it. So let's do this part. Yeah, this'll work. This will work. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh! What do I do? I never expect to run into another famous Knight of the Round Table. I always carry an autograph book with me in case I run into more opportunities to collect signatures too. You will always have opportunity to get some signatures. I can't believe I already failed so miserably. Please be at ease, Lady Bradamante. We serve the same master now, so we can see one another whenever we like. That said, I may technically be a Knight of the Round Table, but I'm not so nearly as accomplished as the other knights, so... an autograph, you said? I'm afraid I wouldn't feel right giving you one, so I must humbly decline. Oh... Please don't say that. If I've offended you, then I beg your forgiveness. Please, Sir Bedivere. No, not at all. If anything, I'm the one who's been... I'm so sorry. Please don't be. I promised I wasn't seeking an apology. Oh no, now I've gone and said all the wrong things. Forgive me, Sir Bedivere. I did not mean to eavesdrop, but I happened to be passing by. My king. Or rather, my king from another world. I, the unworthy Bedivere, am deeply ashamed. I'm afraid I've been unspeakably rude to Lady Bradamante here, a paladin of the Kingdom of Franks. No, you haven't been anything of the sort, Sir Bedivere. I should never have asked you for the impossible in the first place, so, may I ask who this is? Oh, forgive me. This is His Majesty, Arthur Pendragon, Britain's King of Knights. Arthur Pendragon, the King of Knights? I can't believe it. This is such shock, so moving and shocking, although, I've met the King of Knights here in Chaldea in various forms before, but I don't recall any of them being, male. So, does this mean... To elaborate, he's a being somewhat similar to myself. He is something of a guest in this world, a figure who would normally never materialize as a servant. What? I would humbly suggest you think of me as a mere shadow from a dream, Paladin Bradamante. Sir Bedivere, I may not be your king, but I do have one word of advice. There is no harm in giving her an autograph. Any King of Knights would say the same. Yes, my king. Then, does this mean I can have Sir Bedivere's autograph after all? Hooray! Oh, Sir King of Knights, can I ask for your autograph as well? Now then, I think I shall take my leave. Good day, Lady Bradamante. Sir Bedivere. Yes, my king. Proto just straight up ignored her. Damn. Sir King of Knights. He's already gone. You wish to know more about King Arthur? We are indeed the Knights of the Round Table, but I'm afraid we have had few such opportunities to converse with him. Though Sir Bedivere would seem to have had more chances than the rest of us. I see. She gonna ask all the knights? No. What's up? Oh, the other Pendragon? Of course I met him. Pendragon from proper human history's true name is Altria Pendragon. So in this case, I guess I should say his true name is Arthur. He's real much serious, isn't he? There's so much I'd love to ask him. You know, now that I think of it,
I don't think I've ever sat down with him face to face, not even to eat lunch. I see, I see. He told us some lovely old legends, didn't he, Jack? Huh? He's really nice. He doesn't get mad if we sit in his lap or climb on his back. Although... yeah, I know what you mean. He always disappears whenever we take our eyes off him. I don't like that very much. That's a little mysterious. And my father, the nuts guy? I don't know. I don't think he means any harm. I see. I think so too, but I also get the feeling he's avoiding me for some reason. So if there's something about me he dislikes, I need to find out what it is and fix it. Oh yeah? All that aside, Sir Mordred? Yeah. I know you're the ultimate villain in the legend of King Arthur, but you don't seem to be nearly as bad as I thought now that I've met you. How'd you say to me? Talk about being honest with fault, I'm impressed. Alright, Paladin Charlemagne. Just make sure you don't slow us down by dying too soon, okay? That's a mo for ya. There's something wrong, Saber. Remember, Lady Murasaki asked you to keep your voice down in the library. Saber, did you do something to this heroic spirit? Nah, it's no biggie. You know that version of my father who came here from another world? She's worried he's avoiding her. Is that true? Yes, that about sums it up. If it helps, he's like that with everyone. The only one he talks to with any regularity is Sir Bedivere. He'll respond to the situation if needed, but I don't think I've ever seen him engage with anyone on his own initiative. Not even when dealing with servants he knew in past Holy Grail Wars. I was about to say, what about the ones he knew? I'm one of them. He and I once fought each other, though in a place and time very different from this. Oh, I just heard the ding-ding of something. Jakester! Welcome to the stream, Jakester. How be things, how be things. Thank you for the host. However, I do not retain a clear memory of that battle. I thought I heard that servants don't usually remember their past materializations. The cam's not working at the moment. I don't know what exactly is up, but it's been like flickering between working and not working. So I'm not sure if I knocked it or loosed a cord or something on it, but I've got to see about getting it working. Yeah, rip for now, rip for now. Hopefully I'll have it up again for next time. But how be things, Jakester? How be things? Chaldea's summoning system is a little unusual in that regard. Every now and then it summons a heroic spirit and remembers their past materializations. Or so I'm told. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. It's all I can do to barely recall bits and pieces of my own past. I'm doing fairly well myself. Just nice and relaxing day, all things considered. You know, very nice and chill. A little bit tired, a little bit hungry, but, you know, it's later in the day, so that's to be expected. Those kinds of memories also affect my spirit origin stability, so... Serenity. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble there. At any rate, Arthur Pendragon tends to keep his distance from just about everyone. So please, don't worry about it. I'm sure it's nothing personal. Also, so, I don't know the full gist of Fate Prototype, but I'm pretty sure I know the servant count. It was Proto for Saber, Gil as Archer, Ku was Lancer, Ozzy was Rider, Paracelsus was Caster. Was Serenity not the assassin? So then, was Jekyll the Zerker? I'm gonna have to look this up now. Because oh no, wait. I need to look this up now. Because I'm too curious. So type moon, fandom.wiki, .whatever, and fate/prototype. I'm now legitimately wondering here. So Saber, Arthur, Archer, Proto, Gil, Rido, Perseus. Perseus is... I thought Ozzy. Lancer is Ku. Zerker is Herc. Maybe prototype fragments of the Silver Sky is what I was needed to click on. So, Saber, Proto. Zerker Jekyll. Okay, there we go. Zerker Jekyll, Archer Rosh, Lancer Bryn, Rider Ozzy, Caster Paracelsus, Assassin Serenity. So there's two different versions of Fate Prototype then? Interesting. Very, very interesting. That's all I saw. Arthur, huh? Yes, I saw him in the underground library. I just thought you should know. I hope I didn't overstep my bounds. I appreciate this, Serenity. Hey, it's Proto Q, who apparently wasn't in the same universe as Proto Arthur. Because weirdness. Is that Scoop, huh? Former leader of the Kingdom of the Knights of the Round Table, wielder of the Secret Sword, is now Chaldea's lonesome King of Knights. I don't know what he's so worried about. Who cares if he's from a different world or not? Heroic spirits are supposed to be. Well, you know. I'm not sure if we can really call him a proper heroic spirit or not, so... yeah, I guess that'd be tough for him. You know what's going on? What do you think? You know, but you can't say. Yeah, pretty much. You're a sharp one, aren't you, Master? Unless he says something, it's not my place to talk about it, especially when I don't know even know for sure. Why don't you just go talk to him about it? Maybe it'll turn out that he was avoiding anyone and this was all just a big misunderstanding. Go and find out. Who cares whether he's inscribed in the throne or not? He's still a servant you formed a contract with. You call for him and she'll show up. Good point. Right on. Guess I'll go round up some of the family then. The family? Welcome to the family. Arash, Serenity, Proto Q, Mo, Jekyll. Why is Mo here? Sure, it's taken him a while. Never would have thought you'd choose Ganryu Island. Well, I figured he'll show up eventually. Say, where's the pharaoh at, hero guy? No, he's not coming. Well, that was blunt. Said something like, this errand is hardly a matter worthy of my time. Sorry, Master, you know how he is. Thanks for trying, Arash. Thanks for trying. No problem. Can I go home now? If I ain't gonna get a chance to fight my actual old man, there's no point in me sticking around. We're not here to fight him, Saber. We just thought it would be easier for him to open up to the Master if there were other servants with a strong connection to him here. He might tend to keep to himself at Chaldea, but there have been points in the past where he's initiated contact with other servants. Specifically ones he fought against in 1991 and 1999. Oh, okay, so they're... Okay, so Proto... Okay, I'm understanding a bit better now. Okay, I understand now. So there's two Grail War... Gotcha. Okay. Full understanding has been achieved. Well, I get it. Mordred doesn't get to have any fun. No, Saber, it's not about that. Don't worry about it, Doc. Mordred's King Arthur's kid, right? Even if these two are from different worlds, they're not total strangers. What he said, Doc. Doc. Anyway, what about you? Your spirit origin is exactly, what it used to be, right? So you can tell, you're perceptive as always. Sure, my spirit origin is still unstable, but I also know I'll be fine as long as I'm not alone. If nothing else, I can maintain my mental state, even if my body changes with my noble phantasm. Should have some tea. Tea calms you. I would love that. Although, I should warn you that my spirit origin tends to waver when it's just us, but as long as Lady Kyrolite... Master. Alright, sorry to cut you guys off, but it looks like the man of the hour has finally arrived. So the reason we can't use Proto is because we have to fight Proto. See, the gang's all here, Master. I figured having them would make it easier to talk. I see, you may be right about that. Just so you know, we're not here to cause you trouble or anything. Not unless Master gives the okay, and we all know he's not that sort of guy. Not the sort of guy he is. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. You're avoiding everyone at Chaldea, aren't you, King of Knights? It's pretty damn obvious. Yes, I am. I've been doing my best not to interact with anyone more strictly than necessary. All the more so when it comes to beings with deep ties to this world. Well, that's awfully straightforward of you. It was never my intention to hide anything. I simply never brought it up of my own accord. But if I've caused you worry by doing so, Master, I will always be happy to apologize. I would never want to worry you. Hey, I'm not looking for an apology, man. I do not belong in this world. I am but a traveler who came from a faraway land in pursuit of a single specific goal. Of course, I'm happy to help you, Master. If my sword can save this planet and bring it new tomorrow, then I will gladly lend it to your cause. I will never betray you, and I will continue to fight as the modern-day wielder of the sacred sword. That said, I came here to eradicate evil before it has a chance to spread into the future. Once my work here is done, I expect I'll be sent back to my own world. Therefore... Hold up. Just relax a bit, would you? I could have sworn you were a little bit more laid back in 1999. I get that you're here on a mission, but there's no law that says travelers can't make friends. Alright, Master. Righto. You're part of a team, it's okay to act like it. Soul. You may well be right, but even so, I want to leave as few traces of myself in this world as possible. You see, I had a premonition of sorts that... I can tell you're still not being straight with us. Hell no, he ain't. Just shut up already, old man. There's nothing to talk about. If he won't listen to reason, then I guess I get to... have to beat some sense into him. Saber, you stay out of this. You know, I just remembered something. I've still got to pay you back for that one time. Wow, 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 wow. Feel like cake? Cake sounds good. And hey, I think Cat and Bodka were just making some. Let's go get ourselves a slice. Right on. Oh hey, if it isn't my male father. Yo, props. Let's get us some cake. That's weird. You just not hearing or something? Well, of course it wasn't because he didn't want to eat with you, Fran. So he stood her up for cake. How could you, Proto? You ran off without saying a word. Not a damn word. Who the hell just runs off without a word after giving a person inviting them to cake nothing but a funny look? That does it. Nobody does that to me. Especially not my old man. I remember now, I know I had a good reason to beat your ass. Or just got a point, Arthur. No gentleman or knight should ever turn down an invite without at least giving a response. Looks like you're outnumbered, Saber. What are you gonna do now? What can I do? You're right, I was rude to you back then. The least I can do now is face my punishment with some dignity. How about you, Mordred? Now that's more like it. Let's go. Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill him. I'm just gonna beat the ever-living shit out of him. If you do that, you'll forget him. I'll just have to step in if things get out of hand. Try to hold back, Mo. Alright, Clarence, it's been too long since I gave you a taste for your favorite blood. Let's fix that right now. She talks to her sword. That's completely normal. I shall accept. He seals his NP and gives himself charge. That is your manner of accepting that you're going to get your ass handed to you, is by making yourself stronger, Proto. Well, I do have... You know, let's just try and do this the fun way. Is he just not going to attack for a couple turns or something? I shall accept. I'll back you up with elixirs. Is he just gonna let me wail on him? I don't feel... I feel like I'm being led into a trap. This so feels like a freaking trap. Let's get some defense up, I suppose. Because I feel like we're going to be breaking the bar here soon. I feel like on bar break, he's probably going to NP our ass. Second strike shall be rough. Ooh boy. Bye, Waver. You tried, man. You tried. He has a permanent attack buff. That's not good. Must burst the mana. Unleash all the Daka within. I'm pretty sure Mo gets an extra damage buff against Sabers, does she not? Against all Arthur enemies. So, I'm gonna give the NP boost to the strengthening to Gil and the crit strength. Because Gil is gonna go first, followed by Mo, followed by Gil. Decent enough damage there, Mo. Decent enough damage. Not quite a kill, sadly, but it came close. We'll get the kill here. Probably next turn. Excuse me. We'll just have Gil wipe him out. Go, Gil. Go. There we go. Nice and easy. Only get a little bit of a saber thing. And another one. No clue what we're up against this time. We'll bring Mo. And still cannot use Proto. Wait, no, he does. He can be used. Sweet. Proto. Proto. Where are you, Proto? There you are. And we got a bot in chat. Goodbye, bot. Figures this version of you'd be tough too. But at least I got a good one in for Ann. Did you see? I got a few good hits in too, but damn, you really are a tough bastard. Almost pisses me off how seasoned you are. Don't hold back, Arash. You'll never pin him down once we go all out. I'm just doing the same thing I always do. That goes for you too, right, Missy? I try not to be too involved in warrior types. I'm glad I decided to sit this one out. Hyde might be able to keep up. There's no way I could. Alright. That's enough. That's enough. But we were just starting to have fun. Suppose I'd best not push my luck, given my own overwhelming disadvantage. Looks like the Red Dragon of Britain's still confident enough to maze wisecracks. Just don't forget, you're not the only one who knows his opponent's tricks. Confident? No, that's impossible. There is never a time or place where I do not consider myself to be on the battlefield. Oh, Proto. You never get a moment's peace, then. Incoming bombardment! It's powerful magical energy pouring from the skies, that. Ozzy? Hey! Behold the descent of the sun. I was told that vengeance was to be had upon a certain insolent wielder of the sacred sword, so I have come to lend my aid. No, it seems that my way is blocked by Rebel. This must be remedied. I shall begin by clearing the field. Hey, watch it, Ozzy. Let's try this way. I'll take you somewhere safe. I see behind you. Huh? Neato. Or a Sphinx. Sphinx. Sphinx! More powerful magical energy readings are right behind it. Saber, keep Master safe. Was he just talking to you? Shut your damn mouth. We can get back to our test later. If you got time to act cool, then you got time to protect Master. Well, what do you know? He was the first in line to keep Master safe. Of course, that's just the kind of guy he is. Even when he was fighting us, he always kept one eye on Master. He must have wanted to be able to act at a moment's notice in case it looked like he might be in any danger. In that sense, I don't think he's any different from you, the Red Saber, Doc, or Missy. Are you shitting me? I knew I hated that guy. He truly isn't holding back at all. What is the meaning of this, Ozymandias? Is this a joke, wielder of the secret sword? You should know better than why I'm doing this. Now reflect on your misdeeds and let the ray of the sun's light scatter your ashes. It'd be more impressive if you turned the night sky into day sky, Ozzy. Just stay. Master, it looks as though Ozymandias means business. So there is something I wish to ask of you. I would like to keep you safe. Will you let me? Hey, what do you think you're doing here? I'd like to know that too. Well, I'm not quite sure what you're insinuating, but whatever it is, it's not what I meant. All I'm asking is that Master let me fight by his side, just this once. Yeah, you've never been an enemy, dude. I mean, outside that one battle, but, you know. Thank you, Master. Huh, so begins a bunch of divine beasts coming from the Age of Gods, huh? This ought to be a good way to kill time, huh, Bean Sprout? This is really not the time to be joking. I know these beasts are not truly alive, they are merely constructed and formed by the God King Ozymandias' magical energy. Nonetheless, there is a meaning in form. I wish to inflict neither pain nor suffering if I can help it. However, if God King means to attack us without so much a word of warning, then I will not hesitate to wield my sacred sword. Mmm. 99 enemies, huh? Unless there's some gimmick, I don't think I'm going to be getting much further as far as quests go today. And actually, are the buffs we have permanent? Okay, they are permanent buffs. So that will make things moderately better. But if I seriously have to take out all 90 frickin' 9 of these, then they're just, you know, asking for me to cry. Surprise ancestor. Surprise! Romulus! I'm guessing he's the one I actually have to beat. Well, that should be easier, I suppose. And just throw all the boosts on good old Proto here. Keep the boosts a-coming. Crit stars and Busta. And more crit stars.
Better safe than sorry. After all, BAQ.
シール13デシジョンスタート。これは世界を救う戦いである。
Hey, Draconic. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Howdy things, howdy things. That did not do anywhere near as much damage to Romulus as I was hoping it would.
ここで戦え。
Mo, can you take out Romulus here? He's just randomly shown up, and I don't like it when random servants just show up in battles they have no part in.
了解。 我は王にあらず、その後ろを歩むの。
Nice. Very nice. Sounds like you're getting ready to go. Also, what did you create a speedrun.com account for, out of curiosity? Is there any game in particular you're looking to speedrun, or...? Ah. Nice. Very, very nice. Don't you have to have, like, the account for a week or something before you can submit any speedruns, though? But still very nice. Also, speaking of very nice, Scotty's Bond CE is finally obtained. Love the gods left. All quick effectiveness by 10, crit strength by 15, only with Scotty on the field with the craft essence. You want to know about this crown? Well, you see. The Old Norse gods left it to me, you know, before they were destroyed by the Flaming Sword. This happened long before our Scandinavian world met with its destruction. From the 9 worlds that form the Norse, a single drop of brilliance is collected from each of the realms, most precious objects. When all 9 of these, the gods wove a crown for their bride. Surprisingly, this crown doesn't possess any magical energy at all. This crown doesn't possess any magical energy at all. It's just an ordinary crown. But isn't it beautiful? I think so too. Yes. Thank you, Draconic. Thank you. I can now officially do more Mimi stuff with Scotty. Woo! Romance! Hear me, my children of Rome, and stay your blades. Hear me, secret beasts, and bare your fangs no more. Any further bloodshed would be meaningless. Cease your warring at once. Yeah, what the hell are you doing here, Romulus? Holy Progenitor Romulus. Why is the Holy Progenitor of Rome here? Not only that, his magical energy is far, far greater than usual. Yeah, random Rome. And Ozzy. He said he could not bear to see his children fighting amongst themselves, so I brought him along with me. As the son of the god, Romulus ascended to the greatest rank of his mythology. Even I cannot ignore his pleas. Arthur Pendragon, the Red Dragon of Britain. I am Rome, and Rome is I. All roads lead to Rome, so I do possess knowledge of all things. I don't think all roads literally lead to Rome. And so, my child, I know where your destination lies. Ah, my dear child. This may not be where your journey will ultimately end, but this is the fine place to stop and gaze up at the stars. You are so focused on what tomorrow brings that you paid the sky no heed. But that is a mistake, my child. As you have paused your journey for now, this is the time to cast your gaze upward and behold the stars. Indeed, it is for that purpose that you have come here. Look to the stars. The great calamity you have been pursuing will come from beyond their borders. Calamity. Pursue something truly wicked. A great beast that will come from far beyond to devour everything in its path. The 6th beast will surely rear its head someday. That is why I am here. A beast. The 6th beast. Coming from beyond the stars. Okay. I don't know what... I think the next interludes are going to be old interludes, but I'm going to do some speculation now. But that's fine to lurk. Oh, I've already done the only new one that came out that I could do. And that was the Valkyries. I literally cannot do any of the other interludes. I'm just going through my old log of interludes. You know? I think I've got Enkidu, Agemia, and what are the coups I think are in the queue up
to be getting their interludes done today. So, and I'm pretty sure this is even an older interlude. So, Beast the 6. I know that Proto pursues Beast number 6 through the worlds, but is this implying Beast the 6 is an alien, perhaps? That's kind of what it implies a little bit. But again, who knows what Romulus is... I don't think Romulus has clairvoyance or anything, so... It's known as Beast the Sixth, and it's one of the great evils of humanity, as fearsome as any of the others you've defeated. You know, I'm something of a beast expert. You know, I've killed... Or, not killed, rather. I've defeated 4 beasts already. You know, Proto, so I think I'm probably the best. I'm your best shot at getting to the beast, because I also seem to be a beast magnet. Indeed. Now that Beast the First has appeared in this world, it is only a matter of time until Beast the Sixth follows suit. I thought it was Beast the Seventh that will follow suit. When it does, it will devour everything. People, cities, prosperity, corruption, all of civilization. In a different world, we managed to defeat it twice, but my world's Merlin told me Beast the Sixth would come once again. My goal, my duty is to defeat it a third and final time. I'm sorry, Master. I wasn't sure what to do. All this time I've been thinking I need to fulfill this duty on my own. But I was wrong. I should have told you what I'm about to say the moment we formed a contract. Master, please, lend me your strength that I may win this battle. In return, I will devote myself to helping you succeed in yours. You got a deal, Proto. Thank you, Master. When that time comes, I hope I can count on your help as well, heroic spirits of Chaldea. You think there was even a chance we'd set out for a fight against the goddamn beast? Yeah, even when this thing shows up, I'll cut it down to size whether you ask me to or not. You said it. I think you and I will get along just fine, Sky and a Pendragon. That makes one of us. Huh? Hey, see what you... You know what they say? We're all in this boat together, so we'd best make sure it doesn't sink. I don't think that's how it goes. Yeah, there must be a better way to put that. Very well, then. It would seem our business here is concluded, so I will take my leave. Romulus, who became Quinerus, show us out. Quinerus. We are Rome! R-O-M-E. Gonna say it. The R-O-M-E-E. Still in pursuit. A 0 AP node. Wow, 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 wow. So... You gotta be more sociable now, Proto. Alright, that is what this was originally about, was it not? I surrender, Master. I've learned my lesson. Besides, I did think that if many heroic spirits, or even just you yourself, were to comfort me about this, I would need to reconsider my approach to staying here. I was hoping to stay out of sight, but I never wished to cause any trouble. Thank you again for having me here, Soul. No problemo. It's over. It looks like the problem has been resolved. You should get along better with the other servants from now on. I'm glad I asked for your help with this. I would never have been able to figure out by myself whether I should tell Master what I saw in the library. Oh, who she's talking to. Paracelsus, aw, he's concerned. I'm just glad everything has come together as it should. I truly am. Me too. By the way, are you sure about this, Paracelsus? Don't you want to talk to this otherworldly Kingdom Knights yourself? I'm sure. I don't know anything about the Holy Grail War you two fought in, so I don't know what the right thing to say. But I do know that it's sad that you're avoiding him. Thank you, you really are a kind soul at heart. But it's alright, just hearing you say that is all I need. Wonder what kind of interaction they had. Where, oh where could Rogerio be? Merlin, Lord Merlin, please show the way. Those footsteps, the presence, could it be? Oh, if it isn't... Oh gosh, Your Majesty, King of Knights! I'm so sorry about pressuring you for an autograph the other day. I feel terrible about it. I should have known better than to ask Your Majesty of all people for... Wait, Lady Bradamante. I'm the one who should apologize to you. My behavior the other day was truly unworthy of a knight. What? Huh? Lady Bronte, I never even introduced myself properly. If it's not too much to ask, would you permit me to start over and introduce myself properly? Yes, of course. Oh, but are you sure it's okay for a lowly knight like me to speak to the great king of knights like this? Of course it is. You and I are both comrades now, both sworn to protect the same master. I am a saber. My true name is Arthur Pendragon. I am the modern-day wielder of the sacred sword and the king of knights who hails from another world. And intuition becomes resplendent journey. Increase in crit star gain and an increase in crit strength as well. And Proto Arthur's profile gets updated with... He has no wish for the Grail because he was released from the wish itself. He's said to have participated in 2 Holy Grail Wars. He rushed into the battle twice, not to have his own wish granted, but rather to protect something. Now he heads into a 3rd battle. Sweet. Alright, so next up is Edge Emiya. It's time to get some edge. We'll bring you... Given the fact that we don't need to work on Scotty anymore, considering she is a Bond tenor. Let's see. Uresh. Uresh needs some work. Uresh is getting close. 152,000. So yeah, Uresh should be the next Bond 10 that I should aim for, I think. Oop. I really don't like how finicky this plug is. And Edge. Microsoft Edge. Where are you? There you are, Emiya. And let's go. I said, let's go. Here we go. Get a drink real quick. Okay, the screen is glitching out here. I was gonna say, is my phone messing up here, but no. The screen is glitching out in-game. There's too much he cannot remember. When did my bow change into guns? I can't remember. When did I change into this form? I cannot remember. My memories are hazy, my spirit origin is nebulous, and my soul is being shredded to the bone. But even so, there's something I just can't let go of. Of course, the real problem is that I can't even tell what that something is anymore. Oh, poor Edge. Fuyuki! You awake now, Master? You remember anything? No, huh? Looks like you and I are in the same boat, then. The situation looks pretty grim. I think we're in Japan sometime in the 2000s, but as you can see, there's been a huge disaster. And we can't seem to get in touch with Chaldea either. Looks like our only choice is to make our way through this burning city. I'm sure you're not thrilled about being stuck with me, but I'm sure we'll find a servant who's better fit for this sooner or later. In the meantime, I'll start by cleaning up the riffraff. Don't fall behind. Make sure you keep up. Will do! That was a quick first part. And go pew pew pew. Should have probably focused on the silver one actually. That's not bad. There we go. Now we focus on the right one. Poor Edge. I mean, he's not even getting any time to attack. And doot. Good smack. Good smack. And smackety doo-dah, smackety day. I gotta be careful though, because Edge is out in NP range anymore. And now it's Edge's time to shine because, you know, casters, riders.
best battle.
つまらん
Crits are nice. I'm gonna throw the defense buff up just to be safe. And then Merlin's NP working.
星の宇宙物見の舞台楽園の端から君に聞かせ罪なき者のみ通るのガーデン・オブ・アバロン
Sure, hit is easy enough to deal with. Can I please get some good edge Emmy turns, game?
つまらん
And some crits would be nice as well. Just saying here.
おっと
There's an edge-filled turn.
いいす
And we're back to not good turns for edge.
忙しいな
Honestly, I'm gonna just fire the NP at this point. Because this is taking a little bit long for my taste.
bone of my soul. As I pray,
Come on, Edge. Let's go. There we go. And now it's against archers. Oh, and I don't even have the means to get a full charge unless Edge has a self-charge, which he does not. Okay. Do this then. Excuse me. There we go, and we have more than a full charge at this point. Go with these attack buffs. Sam will do Merlin's buff for Reno as well. And more Daka. More Daka. And that's enough Daka, I think.
楽園の端にようこそ星の宇宙物見の楽園の端から君に聞かせる罪なき者のみ通るのガーデン・オブ・アバロン I am the bone of my soul as I pray
Okay, not bad, not bad. We're getting there. This one is being a very long fought battle, though. Very, very long fight. But we're making it. Slowly but steadily, we are making it. Hopefully the future ones will actually have freaking class advantage.
Okay.
There we go. Did everything drop a single item? I wasn't really paying attention. They must have. 3 eyes, 3 feathers, 3 lanterns, none of which were needed. But I'm thankful all the same. Well, that was a waste of time. Come on, let's hurry.
I've been wondering. Whatever it is, I'm not interested unless it has to do with my capabilities. That said, the fact that you still have the energy for idle chatter is good. If there's something you want to ask me on the way, go ahead. If I feel like it, I'll answer. He's being soon. If you're wondering what I am, that's hard to explain. As a master, you ought to know that. Every hero has another side to them. Some of them, they slaughter innocent people without so much as blinking. Others, they fight to protect their country like their lives depend on it. Most of those types that everyone looks up to have some sort of hidden cruel side. Then you have servants which reflect only one side of the hero they represent. Sometimes the servant will reflect that hero's hidden side. And sometimes their spiritual origin will end up corrupted for one reason or another. Servants like that all get lumped into a different category. We're talking about the possible destruction of all humanity here. We need all the help we can get, and we can't be choosy about whether we get it from good or bad people. But even then, I'm an unusual case. The other me was a nameless hero, shaped by a society at large. It might have been a one-of-a-kind event, but it still happened naturally. But me, I'm not one of a kind, I'm just twisted. The past that made me a hero is gone, and I don't remember anything about who I used to be. All that's left now is my ability to kill my enemies. That's the only reason I materialized. So that's why you spend most of your time in spirit form, then? Yeah. The others try to find meaning in existence, but since I'm just a weapon, I don't bother with anything outside of a fight. After all, no one should go have it waving weapons around when there's no battles to be fought, right? Anyway, enough prep. Come on, Master. I mean, we know what your past was. You became who you are because she who shall not be named twisted your loved ones, corrupted them, and then you had to kill them all and then her. That is your lore. That is the lore of the edgiest of the Emios. He suffered greatly. He never remembers the intervening moments. He simply wakes up and there he is. Then he turns around. Turn around. There's only hell as far as the eye can see. Place so awful and feel presumptuous to call it a battlefield that suits him. He figures out who he needs to kill and quickly focuses his efforts on doing so. He wastes not a moment even if he never knows why he does so. But the worst part is, he doesn't even care anymore. He leaps into the darkness and feels as though he's falling ever deeper into the abyss. Hey, it's not all bad, he sneers to himself. At least I've still got something to lose. It's faint, but there are traces of magecraft being used up ahead. And since I don't see any other obvious leads, I guess we'll just have to head there next. Come on, it'll be a walk. What, you still want to talk? I can tell you're the inquisitive type, but you're better off forgetting about it. Other students have past and presents. They've got honor, goals, purposes, glory, desires, dreams, feelings, all that stuff. I don't have any of that. I have nothing to give and nothing to offer. That's the main thing I've got going for me, the cradle of my origin. So there's no point in learning about me. All you need to know is what I'm capable of. Well, knowing your past would help with that. Saber Diarmund. Is this guy why we're stuck wandering around here? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Fire up your magical energy, Master. We're taking him down. Roger, roger. Saber Diarmund, prepare to die. 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 Yawn. Still a little sleepy. No break bars either. If we can get a good starting combo here, which we don't, so we will keep going until we get such a good starting combo. AKA some stars to start with. Also known as 2 cards for the edge in one go. I'll take that. And pour the Buster on him. Poor little Buster on it, Demia. And give him some buffs. And why not throw a little bit more? And sprinkle his own. I could have swore that Icy Stinger was supposed to do more than what it currently does. But I guess I was just mistaken. Go Edge, go eliminate the foe that we're facing. Don't actually eliminate foes. Foes are doors.
That was easy. Guess he wasn't the one. Police, I found some new traces of magecraft. Come on, let's get going. Rightio. Why don't I ever talk to my other self? Why would I? There's no point. If he's all that's left of the man that if he's all that's left of the man he used to be, I barely qualify as what's left over from that. Not even that's giving me even that's giving me too much credit. If that were the case, I'd still have some reason to exist. But I'm just a thing without any purpose. It wouldn't make any difference if I was gone. As far as the other guy's concerned, he could kill me 1,000 times and I still wouldn't be enough. These traces lead to that cave. Let's hurry. Don't you think it's strange? Whatever choice we got, then go on in there. Gotcha. At least you're not as dense as I thought. I'm guessing this is a dream world, an artificial hell, the end of nothingness. A place that makes you confront your sins and demands you pay for them. I've seen it before, but I don't know why we're here. I'm not looking for anything from you. You're not looking for anything from me. We're just helping each other out. That's all there is to it. So then why am I? Why are we here? Anyway, let's keep moving. Whatever is going on here, we'll have to take care of it before we can go home. I might not remember them myself, but I do have records of my past deeds. I know exactly how many people I killed and how many mages. I don't feel any guilt over their deaths, and I've never been punished for them either. Every bullet I fire hits its mark, making the world safer. But the path I've walked isn't mine alone. But did my path split from his? I'm not jealous, I don't envy him. I just find myself learning that from time to time. It feels like a monster with its jaws wide open as it slowly makes its way toward me. I'd probably feel a lot better if I just let it swallow me up. But I'm not that far gone. Not yet, anyway. And the final portion. Keep bringing along the meme master of Memeland and keep going with the squad. Nothing. You're right, but I'm pretty sure this is our last stop. If you're here, then I doubt anybody summoned me. That's right. You're like a tumor that stuck its way into my dreams, aren't you? I'm taking you out and getting Master home. Hope you enjoyed your life because it ends here. I'm pretty used to that sort of thing by now. That said, I'm not just about to abandon my survival instinct and let you chop my head off. The hell? What's there to be upset about? Isn't that why you need a master? No, you're right. Come on, Master. This is the last battle we've got to fight to get home. Let's go. See, well, for your own sake, I hope we can return. I certainly hope we can return home. He fights himself, as the Emias do. They always will fight themselves. It is inevitable. Avenger. The angriest of mangoes, to be specific. Well, not expecting to fight an angry mango with 2 frickin' break bars. At least the damage isn't that bad. It's more of the NP that I'm worried about here. Because I'm pretty sure his NP deals true damage, and I don't think Merlin will keep me safe from that. But I also don't think I can keep his NP from proccing either. I just don't have the NP gen to keep the wave or NP up near constantly. But I do need to get the Merlin NP up to keep myself healthy and hearty.
星の宇宙物見の中楽園の端から君に聞かせよう罪なき者のみ通るがいいガーデン・オブ・アバロン無駄だ
Crit. Good. First bar down. He becomes an assassin. Kiritsugu. Okay, Kiritsugi's a little bit easier to deal with, at least. Get the heal off a little bit more, and then... Doot. I probably use the NP here. Yeah, I can definitely use it. Get the Legion up first for Invince. And... boom boom.
I am the bone of my soul.
That's not a lot of damage. That was weak. Very, very weak there. That was... Pierce Invince. Thankfully that did not, you know, actually damage me. Otherwise we'd be in trouble. Yet. Oh, so close. Get the NP gain. And lastly, it's the edge. Well, my edge at the very least can, you know, do the stuff, so it will be good. Let's get this NP rolling. Still probably not gonna kill, but you know, it's gonna come mildly decent damage. I hope. As I pray. I'll even lead off with waivers attached here just to be safe. For more damage.
I am the bone of my soul.
Better. Starting hit. Okay, that was easy enough. And more dust. Lovely, lovely, lovely dust. Lovely, lovely dust. Something's not right. What is? I know my swords and bullets tore through you. So how are you still alive? Why wouldn't I be? A servant can't go down without a fight. Oh, he's got the damage. Two of them. You honestly didn't get that before? There you have it. I'm sure you can understand since we are the same person.
Yeah, I get it now. I was the tumor. Sure looks that way. There really isn't much of a difference between us, though. Our route, our mechanical way of life is just so simple that even concept of who we are starts to get hazy. That's the long and short of it, Master. Now stand back a bit. You came here to save Soul. Of course, despite everything, I'm still his servant. I might be the cancer here, but you're not far off from being just like me. Whatever fate's got in store for us can't be that different. You might be right. That said, it does look like I'm getting in the way. So there's only one way to end this. Don't look at him, Soul. Screw that, you should see this through to the end. You should see what happens when a man who's lost sight of everything is as far gone as he can be. I'd say that it's a fitting end for me, don't you think? No comment. Don't worry about it. It's what had to be done to resolve this. I don't blame you for not realizing he was an imposter. He wasn't. This dream, if that's even what it really is, will be over soon. Once you awake, you should forget this ever happened. It's just been a nightmare, that's all. Once you forget it, I will too, after all. Even things that happened 5 minutes ago feel like a dream from long ago. Okay. I really don't know what to say about that. Really don't know what to say about that. You up now, Master? There was something strange happening with my spirit origin. It happened right around the time your vitals started going haywire. Guess you and I were sharing one of those servant dream things. You look like you're alright now, but make sure you get yourself a mental health checkup too. So what'd you see in there? Yeah, made me real sad. I see. Well, whatever you're sad about, I'm sure you don't have to be. When you get right down to it, I'm just a bullet. I don't have any thoughts or ideals. Once you fire me, I'm gone, out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, what do you say we get going? You're on another mission to save the world, just like always, right? Like I said, I'm a bullet, so lock and load. I'll keep on flying at my target until the day I fall apart. Poor Edge. Hero of Justice isn't so bad, but for some reason, it makes me sad. Poor Edge. Another quartz. And his profile has been updated. Truth be told, this man became what he was because of dreadful trauma he experienced and a task he imposed upon himself. This task? Saving innocent citizens. As the man became an altar, though, he lost sight of his cause. He even lost sight of his original version, and soon only results matter to him. In the end, he lost everything. With his long period of atonement ended, the man stands atop the gallows and finally sees what he had wished for since his childhood. Justice for the masses. Yeah. Screw you, she who shall not be named. Screw you for causing this. We still got half an hour, so we will do Proto coup next. To the nameless battlefield we shall go. And fighting Proto coup shouldn't be too hard. I think he's only a 5 bonder. It's low rarity. There he is. Let's go, Proto. Let's go. We're gonna die to sabers. I fear. Of course, I feel like this might be an earlier interlude, so it might not be as bad. Hi. Rise and shine. Say, how was your sleep? Yeah, where's Mashu? Let's see, this place is in the middle of nowhere. Well, Missy isn't here. Just you and me. My bad for forcing you into this. The doctor's voice doesn't reach here. That little creature isn't here either. Why? Well, that's simple. This is a dream. You can call it a dream, or perhaps somewhere deeper than consciousness and unconsciousness. I'm not clear on the details. It occasionally happens to servants and masters. Share a dream, put it simply, we can see each other's memories. That's why we both exist here, even though it's my dream. That's right, this is my dream, my memories, my battlefield. Looks like the one you saw before? Yeah, I suppose it does from your point of view. It's linked to a most similar site you've seen recently, I think. Look, here they come. To me, they look like armies of Connacht. But who knows what they look like to you. Hey, snap out of it. It's going to be a fight. Try to keep up with your commands. If you can summon other heroic spirits, then do it. Let's go. Let's go! Kill you all! 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 Of course. Thankfully, they're weak, actually. I will say that. They are very... Good gracious, they are nice and weak. Nice and weak. I have nothing to worry about, I feel. I was worried for nothing. Oh. Of course I didn't kill them all, because why would I? And again, I don't even need to break out the NP here. Easy peasy. This is gonna be a quick one. Nice and quick. This one shall be. And that is good for me. Also, I'm curious. So we're going to be planning to do Enkidus. That will leave us with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 more interludes. That'll be plenty for future things. So continuing with this. To the nameless something I forgot to read. It's probably the same thing, though. If I had to guess. Yeah, that's the way. Mow down that horde of enemies, stab them, slash them, hack them, there's no end to them. Just like the incoming waves, an endless battle on an endless battlefield. Sure brought up some nice memories, didn't it? Come on, Master, if we lose, we die. Well, I'm not sure about that. But fight like it is. Now then, more are coming. More enemies, endless battle, endless battle, endless battle. Again, nice and easy. But I definitely need to get myself something to chow down on after stream. My tummy be rumbling. Start there, do that. Again, oh god, I didn't even realize I'm already at the end of this. These fights are so easy. Hey, we got another master mission done. Woo! And the last one, just Archer and Lancer. Nice and easy, easy and nice. Guess that's it. Yeah, just as I'm getting into it, it's over. Hardly worth the effort. How about you? Still ready for more? Nah, I can keep going. Sure you're not overdoing that? Well, not that I can help you. Oh. Well, well. This is a good dream, so saving the best for last, huh? Besides, talk about being unfair, that one over there is using the spear of the real me from the start. That's unfortunate. Why are you fighting with a hastily made spear? I got my reasons. I guess it reminds me of my last summon. The answer's obvious, but I'll ask you anyway. You want me to go easy on you? You gotta be kidding me. Just as I hoped. Impressive, Kukulon, hero of Ulster. What are you talking about? Well, Mr. Kukulon, hero of Ulster? Double the coup. It's a good thing Maeve isn't here. Well, I guess it's possible. Meeting yourself in a dream, you get that, don't you? Nice, that's really a good way to put it. Well then, shall we do this? Sure, let's go, Master. Time to kill ourselves. Like, well, actually, rather, time for Ku to kill himself, which, you know. And nice and easy, again. And easy peasy. Oh, that was the wrong order. That's my bad. Okay, there we go. That's better. Oh wow, actually a high HP enemy here. Consider me shocked. I don't know if this is going to be hard hitting or not, because I haven't used his NP once in this, but you know, no better time to check than now. Crit Start Gather Rate, sure. Good there, nothing needed there, we'll do that there. Boost. And fire. Not bad. Absolutely, positively not bad. Well, that was an easy interlude. Not much story either. It was nice and light. Stretch. Which means next is probably going to be the last one with Enkidu. So it's a draw. No, I'm pretty sure I won. The Noble Phantasm and Samir we didn't both bite the dust. I'm impressed my younger self is quite a tough guy. My older self isn't too bad either. I'll finish you off next time. What? That's my line. Yeah, so, dreams. Well, basically, see, my skills have improved within the dream. So when you wake up, I'll be sure it will be of use. See you, Master. Thanks for the company. Okay, bye, Ku. And Ku. I don't think you actually get any skill strengthenings from that. Yeah, you don't. He probably thinks it's commendable that his master is attempting to correct human history, and would most likely wouldn't mind lending a hand. However, you must be careful, as he may not respond that's the same as the Lancer with the same true name. Okay. Alright, last one that we will do, even though we have a lot more AP than I expected. But I am starting to get quite hungry, and it's closing on time. So we'll do Enkidu's here, and then we'll do more next time. Because there's still a fair bit left to go. So Enkidu's is just a quartz one. It is a 3-noter, starting off with 10 AP. So it'll be 20 AP normally. We get guest servants, and throw the good old Enkidu boyo. Lancer, I thought he was higher than base bond. I guess not. Must be close at least, right? I guess somewhat. Okay. Well, let's go, Enkidu. Let's see what your interlude's all about. It'll be a decent length one, I feel. Yeah, it should. Hey. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna disappear? Be complete? Are you gonna die? Be born. Then this is goodbye. The next time we meet, I won't be myself anymore. Well, I'm envious. Because you're probably not gonna change a single bit. Nobody can hurt you, and nobody can break you. You'll always be you. God darn phone cord thing. Even if God killed you, even if you love someone else, or if you try to break yourself, or if you turn back to soil, this forest, this world, as long as humans in the land remain. Ah, they're talking about Enkidu. Pi. Up. Sen. Mashu! Please wake up, senpai. Morning, Mash. I'm glad you're okay. You seem to have awoken from REM sleep, and now good morning. I was worried for a moment that your mind might have drifted off somewhere else again. if you're still sleepy, please have some coffee at the cafeteria. We've recently started receiving supplies from the outside world, so there may have been some quality coffee in the shipment.
Okay, so this takes place after the base, obviously, but before the epic. Not all the epics, because we have Moriarty here, apparently. Well, this is quite the poker playing group. Sorry to inform you, but I have a jack that's 4 of a kind.
Oh, wonderful, they all match. I have 4 queen cards. Card that represents sovereign, 4 kings. Does this mean I have the 4 of a kind?
Wait just a moment. Are the two of you cheating? Honestly, so I was the only one who tampered with the card. I was the only one who tampered with the cards. Oh my, am I ever been left out? Oh, how disappointing that I was unable to be one of the professor's 4 of some things. That number represents the death of many Asian cultures. As you can see, I have 5 jokers. I've won the battle, but lost the war.
See, so 5 of a kind is possible.
Of course not. Having 5 jokers isn't even a viable way to cheat. At best, Murphy's crime is absurd. Now look that he did. Knowing as he did his skullduggery would not pass anyone's scrutiny, he's still on our target. Your words of praise slay me. Would you like a little clock as a token of my appreciation? Absolutely not. I will have no part in your scheme of blowing me up to dispose of evidence of your cheating.
Yeah, this is a very weird combo. Right, it's strange to see these servants together. Perhaps the professor is scheming.
Now, young lady, can you truly blame every strange little thing that happens here on me? I'm not judging, of course. It's nice to be suspected of criminal activity. It's almost as if you trust me.
What shall we do, Senpai? I can't see this going well if we stay here long. Just based on past experience, I feel trouble on the way. My apologies if you're concerned. I was actually the one who called them all over. You, Enkidu? You seem surprised. Well, I'm sorry. Setting nursery aside, it's a bit surprising you would call the other 2 here.
You'll put me in the same category as Muffy. I believe I might cry. Please do, come on now, cry your heart out. I'm eager to show us some side-splitting laughter that will merit. Then laugh. Laugh until your sides drop open and your vitals spill out. Now, do hurry and explain yourself. We're getting nowhere as we're going. Now, Enkidu?
You're right. Well, Mephistopheles' whims are certainly amusing, and I suppose this is not a particularly efficient way to operate. I must admit, I've been interested in these people since the moment I was summoned here. I've been waiting to speak to them for some time. There are, of course, others whom I'm interested in, but these are the only ones who are available right now. Interested? Surprised? It is an interesting group, that is true. It is. Everyone here in Chaldea, the heroic spirits, mages, and even the staff are all very unique. That's why I must study everyone here. In order to optimize my systems in a place like this, it is sometimes necessary to become actively involved with others. Optimizing your systems. That's right, I have been shaped to work here as ideally as possible. That is why I was created. Yes, please continue while we actually play. Aww, no more poker. Master, we've received an urgent message from the command room. Hey, Sol. Sorry for interrupting you right when you're about to go eat. We've got some strange readings from an area in a singular area we already corrected. Is Enkidu with you too? Well, that's it. Can you all come by here together? Well, is this the first time I've called Enkidu up here? I don't mind. That you've asked me here means we are dealing with that singularity, correct? Exactly, Sensei. While having the capacity to accurately assess the situation is a sign you are indeed a well-functioning machine. We picked up the strange readings from ancient Babylonia, east of Uruk. You know Ishtar's temple atop Mount Eba? It's somewhere in the forest near that valley. Enkidu. What is it? Well, is everything alright? You just look really grim there. Oh, my apologies. It's just that I heard a term that could cause a cascading system crash, a word that my system prioritized for immediate deletion. Of course it is. After all, the Enkidu of Myths was. Oh well, no need to get into anything like that right now. Our readings are strange, a pattern we've never seen before, and we can't pinpoint the exact location. That's why I want to ask Enkidu, who possesses presence detection and is familiar with the area, to guide you. Would that all be alright? Deja vu. Or Senpai, that wasn't actually Enkidu back then. Actually, that may not necessarily be true. Now that it's been decided, let's head out. If something has gone awry, we must fix it quickly. Right, are you ready, Sol? I clicked too fast there. I'll let you know once we know what we're dealing with. There we go. And then Ray shift away! Ray shift successful. At least this time you ended up on solid ground, Senpai. Any problems, Enkidu? No, we're alright. This breeze brings back memories. The color of the sky hasn't changed either. Yes, I see that wistful gaze on Master's face as he gazes skyward. Perhaps Master was expecting yet another free fall. Mephistopheles.
Falling from the sky, This is exactly the sort of place a shady man like myself can shine.
and any story where someone falls from the sky, the most important detail will be who does the rescuing, Master. You must choose carefully. Rest assured, Miss Mash, as you can see, Master has arrived unscathed. If there's a problem at all, it would be that we have accompanied Master.
Professor Nursery, why are you there? Well, I've been examining the ray shift systems rather thoroughly, so it was no trouble sneaking the three of us along for the ride, as it were.
Well, it has its own set of problems, but Mash is asking why you were here after all.
Similarly, I was curious why Enkidu had wished to speak to us all. Of course, I'm also quite curious about Enkidu as well. There was much that cannot be learned from merely but few games of poker, but I can figure anything out, as I am a genius. But if we were to grant Enkidu's wish, I decided an adventure together would be an amusing way to do so.
Makes sense. Senpai, please be careful not to fall for whatever he says. The professor can be very reckless as long as he gets his point across. Well, this will certainly be a lively journey. In my time, it was customary to travel in pairs, so this is new to me. I hear that Babylonia is the place where the first stories were told. I can't wait to meet all the people who were characters in so many stories from this nation.
Oh my, everyone seems to be in such high spirits. You know, they say no journey is long with good company, as long as that company screams in agony. So I will accompany you on your journey to the afterlife as best as I am able.
My, it seems there was quite a mixture of good and bad in this party. At any rate, let us head out in search for the strange rift.
I can detect something within the forest, but coming through every inch of it would be irritating. Enkidu, do you sense anything with your presence detection skill? What a strange sensation. It feels like the entire forest notices. It appears we have been detected. Perhaps my presence lured them to us. What are you talking about? We're not detecting any. No, wait, I am detecting something. Enkidu's detection ability really is something. This is possible. Why are they here?
I have a bad feeling about this. It seems we are approached by something that should not be here.
Like 4 o'clock. Be careful, Senpai. Bastards.
Lamu.
It's not possible. Lamu should have disappeared along with the chaos side the moment we defeated Tiamat.
Oh, something that should be dead appears right before us. How peculiar. Well, how is that different from us since we popped up out of nowhere? Are these being someone's hero? Are we the singularity that must be corrected?
We're seeing a rapidly increasing number of Lamu in the forest. They're trying to surround Enkidu.
They were singing for Kingu.
I see, so they were the ones. I'm sorry, I can at least pretend to understand your irritation and ideals, but I cannot allow you to endanger the work that's been done. I hope you'll understand. I see. Your reasons for wanting to kill me are legitimate, but you must know that I will respond with all due force. Then we're on the move. Senpai, please be careful. Boy oh boy, Lamu. I hate the Lamu. Hate them.
Well, it'll be fine. I don't remember the classes, though.
And I do wonder who I have support with me. It's either Nursery or Moriarty, considering I chose a golden. 3 waves. Archers! And we got Moriarty. Awesome. Target the big one first. Oh gosh, I blinked so hard and now my contact is loose. These Lamu have such freaky animations. Moriarty would get a kill there. 3 waves as well. A dream created by a god is the name of these as well. Interesting naming. Take it safer. Ooh, good crit there, Moriarty. Plenty of stars, and we have an NP raring to go. Beasts. Fuck. Fear woven by humans. Yeah, this changes things. This makes things a lot more difficult. Lots more difficult. This is having. Peace. Hey, lactose tolerant. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Howdy things, howdy things. Move buff. Screw you, Lemurs. I hate their chittering faces. Guess we're doing decent damage. Thank God. Moriarty. Enkidu, Moriarty. Crit, crit. Why does the Buster not crit? Why, oh why, oh why? Also, be quiet, stomach. I know you are hungry. We will eat as soon as we're done with the stream. I hate it when your stomach just starts growling loud, but you can hear it. Also, I need to heal. Enkidu is getting quite low. At least these things are dropping something for me. Hopefully it's good loot. Focus. Heal. Defense. And all the Daka. Oh, I love the crit. And this should be enough. Good job, Moriarty. Alright. Final wave is Nihility returning to the soil. Lovely. Simply lovely. Enkidu, just destroy it. Please. I hate Lemurs. That's good. And I said doot. Good big numbers. Love seeing big numbers go burr. Evens. And more master missions done. Woo! More dust. 69. Nice. Alright. More story. Not detecting any of the Lemoon in your area. Looks like those have been headed your way are retreating back into the forest. Oh my, oh my. The sight of those things leaves quite the impression on one's memory. I would not be surprised if a normal person went insane upon seeing them. They were a little different than Jabberwocks. I wonder what story those monsters come from. Oh, and here I thought those creatures bore quite the resemblance to Enkidu here. Or are you saying that I'm in dire need of glasses? Looks like those creatures weren't the cause of the rift. I had an eye on the readings during the battle, and it looks like the rift is what's creating them. I ain't even Sam, but it's possible that there is something like the remnant of Tiamat in the forest. What does that mean Tiamat might come back again? I don't think that's very likely. After all, gradual as it may be, the reading is dissipating. Even if we left it alone, there's a chance that whatever issue is might be corrected in the restoration of humanity. However, were I some manner of living residue of Demon God Pillar or harbored enough malice, I would gladly offer myself to be reused. Not a bad deal for debris. Well, pretty much. Fool's chains, yes, that'd be nice. I am short on those. As if we had any names, should have used them already. Honestly, maybe we could actually go out and collect some to supply Chaldea. If I can't even pinpoint its exact location, then that must mean yes, that's right. The time to integrate the system may have come. I never imagined that I might be upgraded after becoming a heroic spirit. Is everything alright, Enkidu? Yes, I was just reminiscing about my journeys in the past. My only wish is that this journey with you would be as pleasant and enjoyable as it was when I traveled with him, Master. Or perhaps that one day, you'll become a hero just like him. I'm sure we'll become a hero eventually. After all, it's not like we've genocided 4 societies thus far, completely erasing their timelines from the existence itself. Let's keep with Moriarty here as we continue forwards. And get another drink. I'm almost out of water. The air here brings back memories. The wind, the soil, they haven't changed. And the density of the magical energy here, were it not for Chaldea's aid, any human from Master's time would not survive this. I'm compelled to walk to the ends of the earth, but that is not a mission at hand for this moment. Sure, it'd be a bit of a pain if you just wandered to the edge of the singularity now. Who's to say your presence wouldn't give the world a conniption and create a whole new singularity? You think too highly of me. A doll like myself cannot make the world do anything. Changing the stars is beyond even the gods. The world yields only to the command of the true king born beneath the stars.
However roundabout your means of doing so may be, spare us your boast about your friend. Our current goal is to find whoever's controlling the Lamu. Well, even as your present protection doesn't seem to be effective here, we may indeed need to come through the forest inch by inch. But wouldn't you say it's elderly abuse to make a man my age walk through a forest of the size of the small country?
The solution is simple, old aged man. We should burn the forest down so we can have clear view from where we stand.
You may call me old, but please refrain from adding age as well. You may make my spirit origin sound like some manner of peculiar delicacy.
Burning down an entire forest is barbaric. Let's ask Bunyan to help pioneer the land peacefully. A wonderful idea. Paul Bunyan as a servant I would very much like to meet someday. Her spirit origin composition is somewhat irregular, and I've been meaning to learn about her before she disappears like a dream. Setting aside what Bunyan is like aside, cutting down a whole forest might just make things worse. Besides, wouldn't you be against deforestation on a large-scale fire, Enkidu?
Yeah, aren't you a conservationist?
Yes, of course, I love nature, and I do believe it to be very important. But to me, the development of city, mining in the deep ocean, and all other such things that humans tend to do are also part of nature. Of course, I would suggest caution should the development itself run sufficiently out of control as to threaten humanity's survival.
Anyway, carpet bombing the area would be a touch artless. I prefer to formulate a different approach.
Oh my, perhaps the old aged man would like to use his coffin to skate over the land or fly through the air to scout through the forest end to end.
As I have repeatedly said, the skyward leap is not a typical thing for me. Think of the energy of such move demands, honestly. Wait a minute, thinking of a typical approaches would be Enkidu's abilities not be useful here.
You're right to point out that leaping and sprinting great distances are indeed capabilities I possess. Normally I would have the Force itself cooperate with me, but it appears that this lane and my powers do not seem to be compatible to each other. Compatible? To be specific, it's almost as if there's a curse that has been placed upon me, though I doubt it's related to the irregularity we're observing. In any case, so long as we can get rid of the source of the curse, I should be able to operate at full power.
And the source is...
Speak of the devil. A familiar spirit origin appears to be heading in your direction. I'm sure Enkidu has already detected it. Yes, true. But the spirit origin reading is... Master, I suggest you take 3 steps back.
What's going on? Well, according to my calculations, you should move within 10 seconds. I also have visual now. Incoming! Mysterious rain of light. Attack the expedition team.
I'm ready to jump ahead of the expedition team to capture this moment on camera, Master.
He's not taking this seriously at all. Amazing, Enkidu managed to deflect all that inbound artillery. While I know Master was nearby, is this really all the power you'll bring to bear in an attempt to kill me? Or perhaps without the other gods behind you, you're just this pathetically weak.
Why the sudden cold, harsh voice, Enkidu?
Ah, Ishtar, of course not. I'd never go all out just to smash a clay doll into a worthless pile of refuse. That aside, I see that your magical energy is stable, thanks to Soul. You should be grateful to that child. You're... Ishtar... Honestly, what's the big idea in bringing that thing, Soul? Things are stabilizing here, all thanks to my protection. Were you trying to mess all that up?
How's that Hresh doing?
I may have caused you all some trouble in the past, but isn't it a bit cruel for that to be the first thing that comes out of your mouth? No. I don't have time to be dealing with you right now, Soul. I need to smash that nasty eyesore into red clay and dump it into the river. It's ruining the aesthetic here. Even though you made yourself look like Shamat, the moment I know who you really are, you become just as hideous to me. You're the worst. I see, as you are the goddess of beauty, it is fitting that you at least appreciate Shamat's beauty. That makes you happy. Goodbye. Don't you change the subject while you attack me. Clay doll like you should be able to move like some kind of martial arts master. Battle of the gods. Or divine beings, at least. Amazing, it's like a rain of light between the land and the sky. So this is the story of Enema Elish.
Oh my, even a single stray bullet could end a master's life here and now.
Wait, please calm down, Ishtar. That's Enkidu, it's not the version of Kingi we fought. Come on, Namash, who do you think I am? I was perfectly aware that this was the real Enkidu, not Kingi from the start. If that's the case. And that is why I'm trying to kill her right now. Right here, right now. But, well, that's not surprising. Don't you remember their previous interaction, Mash? Even the myth engraved on the clay tablets mentions the two of them were very unfriendly terms. So it's not shocking this is how a meeting would go. When we were hunting down demon god pillars, I let you off the hook because we were more important things. But now that you've sashayed back into my turf, you've got a death wish, right? I'm perfectly happy to help you with that. Be a good doll and just sit there to rot away in agony. Well, I'm relieved that you're still vulgar fiend you've always been. I will have no hesitation in disposing of you, even with Master here. Your age is over. Humanity has already made their ties with the new god. Your attempt to cling to your rule makes you a malevolent god. Don't give me that know-it-all crap. You don't belong with these humans. Haven't you figured that out? Even though you're good for nothing, you at least gained a true friend. But since you've turned your back on the gods, there's nothing worthwhile in you. I'm a tool. Protection and concern for the gods is wasted on me. I see. Oh, don't tell me. You're not still feeling guilty over what happened to that child, are you? Now that I look closer, the heroic spirits you're traveling with. Oh. I get it now. Unbelievable. You say you're just a tool, but it looks like you're still hung up on that child's demise. You really don't know when to hold your tongue. You're the absolute embodiment of insolent god who's never doubted that everything is theirs. Hey, you're finally getting serious. The wounds and splendor engraved upon the planet, I shall sing upon it. Age of Babylon. A new NP. Calm down, they do that all the time. It creates weapons from the ground like spears and chains. So that ability was a noble phantasm as well. Fine, any weapon or piece of junk you make could only be trash. I'm going to show you the product of a true beauty. This is the crystallization of beauty, Ishtar. I'll refrain from comment. I do at least have some small sense of mercy in my program. Really, I'll point out that I will show you no mercy. You have two options. You can die or you can die. You're about to get a taste of the awesome how that it's secret that scarred Mount Ebe. Even the supreme god On once said that only a fool would try to defy it. Wasn't he saying that to you, Ishtar? He was, if I remember my Mesopotamian mythology correctly. Alright. So we're going to go a little bit long today, it seems. Enkidu's interlude is a little longer than I anticipated. Handsome Great King, Clear-Skinned Emperor, and Junk Shop Demonic King. Interesting setup here. Let's take out the Berserker first, though. Lessen the overall damage that would be inflicted upon me. Gross. Crit down. Probably crit damage down, I'd have to guess. BAQ. Come on, Moriarty. Take out the caster. Nope, not gonna happen. Sadness. Tears. I cry every time. Definitely need the defense buffs going here, because that would do a little bit too much to me. Come on. A little bit more damage here. The green needs to die. I could probably get away with using his MP here. Yeah, in fact, I will get away with such a thing. NP strength, yes. That should be enough to kill the green, and then the red goes down, hopefully from the very low crit chance. Oh wait, you're a single target. I can do it. I'm a dum-dum. I'm a forgetful dum-dum. Well, at least they're both much lower health. So, you know, I accomplished something. Boop, boop, boop. Come on, Enkidu, get some kills. No. You can do it, Enkidu, I believe. Oh. Oh, close. Heal yourself, Enkidu. And then just slaughter this remaining dude. Yeah, he's dead. Everybody barely hung on. Please don't be a break bar. Thank you for not being a break bar, Ishtar. And goodbye. Not showing off. Attack and crit rate up. Well, you know, there's not really going to be much to show off here shortly, Ishtar, because I've got your number. All the buffs. And Enkidu smash. Sorry, I'm gonna dry out as well. I know.
戦う前の勝利こそ理想だが、こうして比べ合うのもいいものだ。
I really wish they had some of these ending lines in English. Also, 6 bones. Yes. I need them. I need them bones, them bones, them bones. Oh. Hey, Soul. Why are you taking Enkidu's side here? Yeah, the demonic statue design. Wouldn't there be more reason for you not to attack it? What, are you a hornet that attacks anything that's a color you don't like? If they were wonderful monsters, they would definitely be found in picture books as bad guys. A lot of you know that they were supposed to be guardian statues of justice that received the blessing of a goddess. Me. Fine, I know this is no time for a battle to the death. Right, the moment I tried to inflict the final blow, I felt as if Master was about to cast Gander on me. Master, trusting Ishtar is your choice, but I recommend extreme caution in dealing with such a wild, capricious goddess as her. She may say that all she does is for humans, but her entire thought process is fundamentally different to begin with. What's worse is she's unaware of this. Just think of her as one of those bizarre sorts who turn up the change of seasons, someone with delusions of managing the world. Well, you've got a lot of nerve to say something like that. One of these days, when Soul's not around. If we ever encounter each other somewhere in Chaldea that isn't involved, I'm going to use all my godly power and smash you into tiny pieces. Unfortunately for you, such a miracle is unlikely unless Chaldea or humanity is on the verge of catastrophe.
Yeah, is that what they call Chekhov's gun? You are aware that our existence is possible in the first place because miracles pile up the top of each other, yes?
Perhaps. Anyway, are you really going to stop fighting, Ishtar? I've never known you to back down when you're mean to someone. Shut up, if you insist on keeping this up, you won't have any justification, but still, if you're gonna keep going, I'm ready for you. Now, I have no intention of continuing, and I apologize for my many indiscretions. This apology is not for Ishtar, but for the poor human who she has merged with. I should respect that girl, at least, whoever she is, and wherever she might be from. She may be somewhat like Ishtar, but the fact remains that she has managed to mellow Ishtar out somewhat, which can only mean she's the most virtuous soul. Or maybe strong-willed is a better word for it. Goddesses retain a tendency to rush into things without considering the consequences. This piece of junk still loves making those cutting remarks. Are you okay with this level? Doesn't it stress you out? Yeah, he's only really tough to you. I suppose that junk pile is still good at playing innocent. So can we move on? Am I correct to assume that you, Ishtar, have already found the source of this phenomenon? Yeah, but I can explain. We can talk while we go through the forest. Follow me. An adventure with a hero and a goddess? I have a wonderful feeling about this. You think so? I find myself overcome with a feeling of pure dread, as though we may be leading to the scene of a perfect crime or something such.
Yeah, you know what they say, life is all twisty and turny like a rope. You never know what fate awaits, and when you could be kicked off a mountain by an old man's horse the next minute. Oh, little sayings like that are so amusing, Master.
You're right, no matter where we end up, atop a mountain or in a valley, let us pray that we have a good journey. Not the gods, but upon the route that Master will be taking. Does Enkidu really think this group would be able to get to the bottom of this? Even on Enkidu's journey with Gilgamesh, they couldn't save that child, that beast. I really don't know what child they're talking about. Really do not know. Last node, mystery enemies once more. We will bring along Moriarty. Once more. Sad that we don't have Ishtar to choose from, but oh well. What the dark forest is still daytime, but the darkness makes it feel like somebody's gonna start singing, "Hey diddle diddle." Yes, it is still both dark and silent here. This place is one of the primordial forests that connects night and day, human and gods. I can't believe you can be so nonchalant about it. Care to enlighten us about a certain duo who went to destroy that connection? Sorry, but it's time to set your past squabbles aside. We have more important things to do right now. Or if Ishtar is letting the issue alone right now, it's safe to say the situation isn't as urgent. Well, that's a tough question. Lamu are certainly diminishing in number. I'd love to watch that happen at a safe distance. I don't really want to kick the hornet's nest here, but I do have some strong feelings about this. This is the one that never stops kicking the hornet's nest. Come on, I'm trying to be serious here, so don't tease. Your effort to confront your true nature is exactly why my master said that. You put on the air of being a guardian of human prosperity, yet you never listen to humans. Actually, you probably do listen, but what you hear is twisted up in your bizarre divine mind. Shut up, you piece of junk. Honestly, I think Kingu had more respect for goddesses like me. Kingu. That is the soul who inhabited my body in the singularity, correct? Would Master and Mash mind telling me about that? What did Kingu in my body do in this world? What did they say? What did they leave behind? They may have saved us, but we didn't see how they died. Saved. Wasn't Kingu your enemy? We really only know a little about Kingu, but his final actions make it a little harder to think of him as a true enemy. No, we really don't have enough information to even offer conjecture. Since your body, I think this story would be hard for you to hear, Enkidu.
I don't think it's much of a problem, Master. Talking about someone else is never really all that objective. In fact, I call all the world's heroic tales silly little farces, wouldn't you? And so what can you possibly tell us about Kingu? Everything's a fraud. That's how the world turns.
What all things say, Uncle Mephi? Not all stories are sad. When someone tells somebody else's story, that story becomes another kind of truth. Master Enkidu wants to hear Kingu say out from your perspective. Please tell them. Story.
This may be uncalled for, but were I to merely keep quiet and look smug, I would certainly be like a certain insufferable detective, and I won't have that. Master, tell your story. We all have the notion of what Enkidu was searching for. I'm not saying you need to dramatize it, just tell the story of Kingu from your own perspective. And the truth to tell, I find myself curious about the story, purely for educational reasons, of course.
Are you sure? It's not really my pitch in here, but I can offer some supplemental information if asked. Besides, this piece of junk lacks emotion. No matter how their body was used, they would accept the truth. She's the last person I wanted to point out that I lack emotion, but the root goddess is right. Don't worry about me. I would never be satisfied. I'd be satisfied to know anything you are willing to tell me.
I'll tell you what I know for sure. He tried to kill me many times.
If somebody's alright with it, then I can also contribute. Our relationship with Kingu was complicated from the start.
I thought we were going to do a flashback thing.
First, Kingu pretended to be Enkidu when he appeared to us just after we arrived. He turned against us quickly, saying he was the messenger of the Three Goddess Alliance. The truth, though, was that he worshipped Tiamat as his mother. Tiamat. Yes, but during our final decisive battle at Uruk,
he became the chains that bound.
I see. My body that claimed to be Kingu tried to stop Tiamat, the beast whom he worshipped as his mother. I don't know what made him change his mind, though maybe that real friend of yours might have some more insight into it. But one thing for sure, both the chain and the wedge were essential in saving Uruk. I see, so Kingu or me, the me in the singularity, managed to hold his conviction to the very end. What do you mean by the me in the singularity? Oh, sorry, I suppose that you may not have sounded odd, since I'm not Kingu. I mean no insult to his soul, nor do I believe myself to be superior to him. It's just that my body, my flesh, were created that way. I'm designed so that my entire personality is inscribed into the body itself. So even if a different soul inhabited this corpse, it would be recorded by the world as one of the paths the body created by the gods took. Paths? Yeah, path or perhaps a circuit is a better term. Originally, I did not have a personality. I was created by Utu, and the others as an empty container intended to be the perfect being. To put it in modern terms, I was like a computer hardware that did not have any software installed. And so upon the empty container, Shamat, Gil, and the others old allies described the traits of humanity, and that is how I came to be as I am. In other words, the me that is speaking to you right now is simply a sort of software that happened to be put into the operation around this time. To the world, rather the gods who created me, the hardware running the system was more important. Well, that's pretty weird, I gotta say. Are you not trying to say that what was registered on the phone was not your soul but your physical body? Correct, that's probably the most likely sensible explanation. Specifically, the journey that I took isn't what's engraved on the throne. It would be more accurate to say that the hardware called Enkidu was registered. And that's why I respect Kingu. Respect? The path Kingu took is definitely something human from my perspective and should be praised. Per the wish of the individual whom Kingu worshipped as a maternal figure, Kingu was able to live in this world as a new human. In consequence, he was never a doll used by the gods, but was instead a human with his own will. Just like any other human who lived in Sumer, he wanted to become a being with his will, instead of a life form without it. With that in mind, it is fair to say that he fulfilled what time was given to him well. He confronted the gods whom he worshipped as his mother, using only the emotions he was born with. To act of my own volition was something I could not do until the very end. While that may have been my fate, Kingu managed to escape it. Perhaps I should feel jealous, or perhaps I should feel relieved that I never held such sentiments. I'm merely a tool, to live as a human would be to denounce the role I was assigned. Plenty of humans live their lives like machines, though. That may be true, but those people are satisfied with their way of life. That is the result of feeling hope, which is unique to humans. If someone feels despair, to be able to feel despair, That is just further proof of being human. That is also an emotion I cannot experience. Oh, come on, you're just covering for yourself by stringing together a bunch of logical nonsense. This is why I cannot stand you. You're a piece of junk. You've broken just the right ways to get personality. Complete mind and perfect entity. You make me laugh. There's only room for one perfect entity, and that's me. But then again, maybe that's why you're so full of guilt. You regret dying before that stubborn king. Or maybe you regret your actions and the fate that ultimately tarnishes proud independence. Whatever it is, you died with regret in your heart. You need to face the fact that you met your end practically drowning in human emotion. Look who's talking. You're the one who cursed me. You went so far as to call for help. Well, I'm aware. I will save it as many times as I have to, and I do it all over again. I'm sticking to my principles. Please calm down, both of you. We should be repeating. There's no need to worry. We seem to have had another problem now. Right, it seems we're approaching our destination. Yeah, we've got a visual here. But this is... fragment of a golden chain. That's a piece of the chain that was used for sting Tiamat during the decisive battle Uruk. I'm guessing here, but maybe that chain is a remnant of Enkidu from the Singularity. See, no wonder my presence detection didn't work. It was a part of my own body. This area is shrouded with the same magical energy as my body. That energy could seal the presence of all the Lamu as well. And when you see that building-sized hunk of flesh the chain is wrapped around, that's a piece of Tiamat's body. Looks like the chain is still trying to restrain it. And the Lamu are being born as if in protest, but because the age is correcting itself, the chain is more powerful than the flesh. That piece of flesh will disappear soon, bringing an end to the chain's purpose, which means the last remnant of King's body will vanish. Unlike this piece of junk here, I don't have any real problem with Kingu, so the least I could do was watch over him until his end. Let's put him to rest. Yeah, you guys really are softies. But I hope you know, if you agitate it, that bit of flesh will use its last strength to go berserk. If that happens, I can't guarantee you survive. That'll be okay, I'll protect Master. And we're here too.
Oh, we may have somehow been included in this god-killing troop. What are your thoughts, old-aged man? This Peppy Meffy is excited as can be to get some god-killing done. Whee!
This is exactly what I was worried about. Well, we did come all this way, so I will help. After all, such down blasphemy as killing the remnant of a goddess is just the sort of dirty job fit for Master Mephistopheles and myself. Thank you, everyone. And you too, Kingu. I respect you truly. I respect that you've kept to your conviction, even after ending up like that. I'm going to take care of everything now, and I hope you'll forgive me for taking over. Who detected you? Please be careful, Senpai. Looks like that chunk of Tiamat has also detected you. Don't let it eat you or anything. I'll be fine. I'm sure. I'm sure I'll be fine. More dreams created by a god. Plenty of stars. We'll go ahead and use Moriarty's skill for the charge. Strength is kind of meh. Maybe a bit of a waste, but oh well. Excuse me. Moriarty should get this one. Oh, come on, Moriarty. Really, leaving so little health on him. You disappoint me, Moriarty. You disappoint me there. Crit. And good hits. Alright. Deck is shuffled once more. Poor Waver is being debuffed to hell. Crit. No crit. No crit. Hollow out. Oh, Moriarty. That actually hurt. Let's heal the old Moriarty. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of healing for you. I was gonna say, I better just kill him, this brave changeling man. Yes. Next is all beasts, more fear woven by the humans. Let Moriarty take the lead here with damage. Increase crit starting gather rate. And then doot.
Right, single target. I keep forgetting that Moriarty's a freaking single target. Also, that's Buster Down. It's hard. That's a hard fucking Buster Down. Holy cow. It's not expecting so little damage.
Where's the move down?
I feel like Moriarty might go down here soon. He's not debuffed anymore, so we can at least do something for damage. Decent hits. Good. There's the damage we want to see, James Moriarty. Now don't die. There goes the Enkidu buffs. Lovely. Although there wasn't much left, to be fair, so, you know, it is what it is. Get the kill on this one and start wailing on the last. Good kill. And there was one. Brave Chain from Enkidu could get us the kill. Let's go ahead and boost his crits. Nope, not gonna happen. Missing that first crit screws the peach. Bye, Moriarty. Hi, Arash. Good go. Glad to have you, Arash. Whoa, we barely have him down there. Let's just heal him. Be safe. And Rush is good. Crit and P-Gen. Oh, not good enough. Actually, I think Waver has charge on that, so. Beast Remnant. It's, of course, the generic ghost enemy. Well, we can get double NPs here, and Blessing of Kerr will also boost. And throw the rest of the buffs on the good old Enkidu. So, Arash, Enkidu, Enkidu. Not as much damage as I was hoping to see. Some busters though. I have the Dark Star. Okay, it's debuffing me now. Debuffs, debuffs, they're no fun, so do not do them, anyone. 20, 30. Good. Not so good. Not so good. It's almost done. One, maybe two more turns. I don't think she's gonna get the kill regardless, though. But I should say, I need to let Enkidu get the final blow. It's only appropriate. All these frickin' stacking debuffs, man. I don't think I'm gonna be able to manage to let Enkidu get the final blow. Especially when Arash is a beast in crits. But, you know, Arash deserves a final blow on Tiamat as well. And that's another interlude done. More dust. Can never get enough. I prefer bones, but I'll take the dust. Let's finish off the story. The readings of Tiamat and her Lamu are beginning to disappear. Your protection of Mother's body till the end is admirable, but then I came and troubled over your desires for my own ends. If you are to curse someone, it should be neither humanity nor master. You should curse me, even though I cannot become truly human. Thank you. I'm grateful. That's right. This is my sign of appreciation. What's going on, Enkidu? Why are you staying in front of King's chain? I wanted to thank him. Thank you, Kingu. You are indeed a human, and a hero. Thank you, proud soul who helped maintain the connection between humans, land, and sky. He's going to incorporate Kingu into himself, isn't he? Fusion. Calm down, that was the original part of Enkidu. Absorbing it back into themselves is nothing strange. Yes, it feels like a missing piece of me has finally returned. I synchronized with the chain and incorporated it back into my spirit origin. At the same time, a part of Kingu's spirit origin came flowing into me. Maybe one day, Kingu may manifest in my spirit origin. My eyes may turn blue sometimes, but that's just a part of the software in Enkidu's body. And a part of Kingu's heart is also becoming a part of me. I can see the journey he took, and I can see how it came to an end. So Gil really did become a wonderful king. That is a relief. This may just be me, but I sense that the quality of our spirit origin has changed. My connection to the world may have changed slightly. My presence detection doesn't sharpen one's mind. It's a subsystem that allows me to become one with the world and the identity, and identify anything out of place. Now that I have inherited the legacy and story of Kingu, I'm able to further integrate myself into anything connected to Chaldea's world. Now I can mount my very existence into the world. Even if only for an instant, I may be able to evade an enemy's attacks. Amazing. Whether it can actually be used would probably depend on how much my spirit origin is bonded with Chaldea and Master. Either way, the issue here has been correct. Let us return to Chaldea, Master. Eh? Aren't you going to see Gilgamesh? You know that fool would hurry over, whether he be in the underworld or on the throne, the moment he learns someone raiding Urik's treasury. More than that, he would really actually hurry over if it was you if you were here. It would be nice if I saw him. But the Gilgamesh here now is the Gilg who's already said goodbye to me. He's a king now. I don't think Gilgamesh is the sort to treat you differently because of his status. Maybe not for Gilgamesh, but the people who live in this age are a different matter. I'm sure the people will be fearful. They might be afraid that I may take Gil's soul to the underworld on some adventure. And honestly, I might really do that. You really would? Who knows? Another trip through a forest or over a mountain does sound fun. Yeah, even my own software may determine that being with him is the optimal decision.
Kidnapping, you say? Taking Gil as an adventure is one thing, but taking Gil the king by force should be easy as pie.
No, whether Gil and I want to or not, we would have gone on a journey had the fates decreed it be so. That's how it is. It sounds like some kind of riddle, but I'm sure it would have been a wonderful journey. Of course it would. A journey with Gil could never be boring. That is, this entire planet is his garden, but Gil isn't the sort of person who would be satisfied with just to stroll through something already his. The moment he finishes walking every inch of this planet, he'll probably head out into space. Would you want to go on a journey in space? I don't know. I'm a doll that is meant to be part of the planet. However, should somebody travel through the stars with Gil, I may entrust them with some sort of wish. I'd wish that the time we spent together, even if only a portion, could light the way on their new journey. You really can't be honest with yourself, huh? I never knew what you were thinking. I'm aware that others find it difficult to understand me, but that's just how I've always been. And I wanted to make that clear for Master. So please, think of me simply as a tool. My only wish is to be used effectively in your service, Master. Please don't say anything so sad. Senpai has never thought of his servants as tools. I don't recommend that approach. If the time comes, use me until I break to help yourself survive. There's nothing wrong with both being human and a tool. Master, you really are soft. You are the complete opposite of Gil. You certainly are unique. Or perhaps you are the one who is more human. If so, having been a servant to a human such as you an honor.
While the position of best friend is one that has already been filled, if you consider me to be a trustworthy tool, then I will answer your call and serve you as best as I can in my brief existence. That is why I wish you to be until I break. That is the purpose of my coming to Chaldea. Enkidu.
After hearing all that from you, you really are a bit of a fool, aren't you, Enkidu?
Professor?
Ah, yes. Enkidu, you are like a pure, innocent newborn doll. You would be an easy mark for an unscrupulous villain like myself.
How intriguing. I suppose I could not help to hope to match up the press and intricacies of his schemes.
No, that smug grit isn't just because you've stated the obvious. I was speaking of the attitude that you and Kingu take toward the world.
With Kingu toward the world?
Kingu adopted your form and went on a rampage. Any citizen Uruk who saw you would surely think that the enemy is returned from them.
True, chaos manager, and Sue. Exactly, that's why I...
On the other hand, you have not blamed Kingu for any of this. He tarnished your name, your reputation, and yet you praised his conviction, incorporating them into your own spirit origin. You intend to embrace not only his soul, but also every bit of tragedy and hatred he created. I will say it once more, you, my little clay doll, are a fool. You are neither good nor bad, you are foolishly honest, sort of a hero.
I think I know why you were always interested in us. I think Enkidu is very similar to us.
Oh my, did you not realize this? I was born a devil, while Nursery was born a story. And add in the old age man, a man who was inscribed upon the world's throne as the ultimate villain, and the correlation is quite simple. Though I do think the old age man is different than the two of us. Why do you think that is, old age man? Firstly, I told you to drop the age, but let us set aside for the moment whether I should be here or not. We have all, through the intervention of some other entity, been forced to act in certain ways. In your particular case, you were assigned a role by the gods themselves, but you defied their decree.
I do not deny that. I did indeed defy my reason for existence, my purpose for living. I am different than Kingu. I did not gain a soul, I simply abandoned my very being.
However, the reason you wanted to learn more about us is that you were searching for an answer for some sort of saving grace, or that was my initial belief. My calculations require a bit of alteration and correcting on this short journey. You sought salvation and understanding not for yourself but for another, am I wrong? You really are quite expressive, Enkidu. And so we arrive back at what I called you a fool. That applies to dolls and tools, humans and heroes. Well, honestly, I think fools are quite boring, but I don't hate them. I'm, after all, a teacher. I would hate to see another accidentally gain a sense of justice like Watson, but it may be interesting to see them succumb to an evil like the Spider-Man.
They're good or evil. Intriguing. Do you think that could even be possible for me? I'm not really interested in the conversation, but thought I should let you know we're ready to race shift. We can put Enkidu's decision about their future on hold for now. Yes, sir, thank you very much. Don't worry about it. We're all friends, after all. But I warn you, never bring that piece of junk back here again. It'd be better if you would disappear from this age. In fact, it would be best if you just disappeared entirely from human history. Unfortunately for you, as long as humanity thrives here, I'll continue existing even as a remnant of a guardian of God. Since I find their smiles they have while they're glaring at each other terrifying, I suggest commencing the race shift. Senpai, are you ready? Later, Ishtar! There they go. So that hardened king never showed up. Funny, I had to have sense that Enkidu was here. Unless you really are impossible, I could never get my head around what they were thinking. Oh, just thinking about it makes me so mad. I'm gonna go read Uruk's treasury for jewels to make me feel better. Isn't Gil dead? So are you suggesting he comes out of the underworld? Welcome back, Senpai. Is everyone else okay too?
Yeah, they made me walk quite a ways, and I feel I must have aged a few years on the trip.
Is something the matter, Enkidu? Well, this journey taught me many things. It'll be quite difficult to assimilate all this data. I'm not so sure it was the right route to have incorporated King into my humble spirit origin. Or perhaps it would be better to allow Kingu to take over as his heroic spirit for this body. Enkidu.
Oh my, you really are overthinking this.
Mephistopheles.
From where I stand, there's no distinction between the two of you at all.
Why do you think that?
Gods create, humans form connections, and they all go back to the ground. That is the duty inevitable end for those who walk upon this world. If you say that Kingu was human, why wouldn't you be able to say you are human too, since you were all born from the same source,
Well, that is one way to think of it. Kingu's soul came from Tiamat, and he was able to forge many connections with humans in singularity. The software that was used was the only thing that was different, but there was hardly any distinction between the way the two of you lived your lives. Admittedly, I never would have looked to Mephistopheles for that sort of sentiment.
Oh, that stings.
I also don't think you should worry too much. Many stories come from some sort of wish, but the interpretation can always differ in endless ways depending on the storyteller and the listener. So please cheer up to hear from an old story. One of these days, someone will read your amazing story in such a beautiful light. I'm sure of it. I was also able to forge many connections, and that's how I got to meet Master and many wonderful children who listened to my story. I see, you may be right. With all of your help, I believe I have made some progress. What matters is not why I was created, but how I interact with others, how I live, and how all that connects. As a long time ago, before I met Gil or Shamato, or even before I was among the animals in the forest, I had an encounter with someone else. But I couldn't make any connections. I simply returned to the god's creation, back to the land and soil. Once more, if I can meet this soul once more time, I'm able to create the connection for her story. I'm glad I was able to hear from people like you who were created to act a certain way. I wish now is to update my software with the memories I've just made, and take them back to the throne. Thank you, Mephistopheles. And you too, Narcissus. And you too, aged old man.
Why must you bring that up even now? We were just about to conclude on a pleasant note. You have an uncanny penchant for teasing, don't you? I still recall what happened during the race.
Perhaps Hilde has changed me, or perhaps it is Master's influence. Thank you, Master and Mash. I vow to continue serving as your sword and shield. I have Mash. I don't need a shield. Senpai. Alright, then I'll focus on being your sword. Are you joking too, Enkidu? Either way, good work, everyone. The chef in the cafeteria is making tropical style curry for using summer vegetables, so go have some. Tropical style? Sounds interesting. Let's go, Senpai.
Oh my, curry my Tic Tac bomb is quite tropical as well, so let's try mixing that in.
Must be in Columbia's curry. I'm sure it's quite mild. Let's go.
On my days, all those commotions caused me a bit of back pain, but I did manage to score my way out from losing that poker game earlier. But learning about Enkidu's true nature was a stroke of luck. Knowing this, I have some interesting ideas for the future. I don't want anyone to forget that I was summoned into this world as most evil criminal master. The way lives and leave connection. The way one lives and leaves a connection in this world, huh? That's the very essence of a story, but it's also one's choice to play up to the very role that was given to them in the first place. I have no idea who Enkidu wants to save, well I do have my theories. But the question is, whether that being is really asking for salvation or not. Or if that fool would be able to tell the difference. I was gonna say it ends on an ominous note.
Not his best friend, nor is a tool to its user. A relationship between a mage and their servant, huh? I see. In order to improve my relationship with Master, that's probably the best way to think of it. Maybe with Master, we can find the one I'm looking for. No, I shall find them for sure. Huawa. The being held captive in the force of the gods. I'll find their guidepost that will allow us to release your soul. Not sure who that is. I'm gonna have to do a Google search. And that is interlude done, and another interlude has been unlocked. This one is a very cheap one, but I'm not going to do it because I am starving right now, and I'm way past time. So, I'm going to end the stream here. I've been Soulrack Dragon. I hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to leave me some feedback whichever way you so see fit. Drop me a follow to know when I go live, and I will see you all in Friday's stream, which will be Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke. Let's go.